I am Zatu, the narrator, the unseen voice that guides you through this grand adventure. You, the listener, can hear my words, yet the characters within this tale remain oblivious to my presence. I am your window into their world, your guide to the secrets and intricacies of those who dwell within it. Like Watu the Watcher, I am bound by the sacred code of non-interference. I cannot sway the tides of fate, nor dictate what paths our heroes will tread. I am but the weaver of stories, the scribe of destiny, chronicling events as they unfold. Brace yourself, for the journey ahead promises wonder, peril, and revelations beyond imagination. Let us step into the tale together as I unveil its mysteries to you.
Welcome back to LMG Presents Marvel Multiverse RPG. My name is Jordan. I am the narrator of this podcast. And today, we don't have a regular episode. As you can probably tell by the title, we have two guests on. So I am going to introduce them and then I'll kind of let them introduce themselves as well. I guess that's how it works out. But yes, welcome, Copy, and Paste. But first, I'm going to say welcome, Copy. How are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely great. Thanks so much, Jordan, for having us on. I'll just throw it out there. So I am Copy. I am the co-host of Action Dice TTG, where we and my co-host, my synthetic replicoid Paste, and we play the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. And you can find us on YouTube. We come out with actual play episode probably about once a month. And we're also doing some explainer videos as well about the game.
Which has been really good, by the way. I'll throw it out there. But welcome, Paste. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great again, Jordan. Yes, thank you for having us on. It's an honor and a pleasure. Exactly what Copy had said. I am the other half to
Are you
the dynamic
copying me? Is that
duo.
what you're doing? No.
Yeah, oh man, copying you. Yeah,
Ha ha ha.
yeah. Yeah, and the explainer videos, we're having so much fun with those as well too. They are a little bit of a break from our usual. We do like to do one shots typically or one shot adventures. But you know how it is with scheduling.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get away from you, right? That's always the biggest bad boss of the RPG world.
Well,
So
the real problem is that you just always have trouble getting players at your table. That's why you got to make these replicoids, right? That's just the only way you can do it, honestly, to keep a real schedule.
the secret origin, yeah, if you really want players to
Hmm.
learn how to clone. Um, yeah, but the
That's
explainers are just a lot of fun that we're doing in between. But we do have more adventure one shots on the way, and it will probably be featuring the Alien 616 episode, I believe, is next up on the block. Which I
oh
believe,
nice.
yeah, most of the listeners are probably familiar too from I think Fuzzy kicked this all off, but it's really open to
Yep.
everybody. Everyone's allowed to join this massive sandbox world that he started here for us. So, and we're excited to carry the torch a little bit on our end, making our videos as well.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying kind of all the adventures and I love reading kind of the recaps that everybody's kind of been putting out there. I'm happy that he put he kind of opened it up for everybody to kind of join, and that was the first time I've ever done anything like that. So my group has definitely been having a good time with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even especially Billy, he's got so many really great stories that he's been telling us too, and he's been posting them
Yeah.
on Discord as well too. And I'm just like, oh man, I gotta read that. That sounds so amazing. I'm a little behind in my reading, but yeah, looking forward to catching up.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
curious, Jordan. What fraction are you running with in
So
your Alien 616?
I didn't want to go with the kind of the big two that we all kind of hear about in Alien Universe, which is uh geez, what's the
The
oh
Alien?
man, I can't even think. I'm thinking about the Alien Universe. We are actually just a villain, so we're running a villain group. I got a bunch of random
Nice. That's
villains, and so
lovely.
we are currently in the Savage Land. So that's kind of where they have been stationed at. They were in prison, they got sent out, Suicide Squad style. No one expected to
Love
make
it.
it back. We'll see if they do. So yeah. I almost joined one of the kind of different factions, but I let my guys kind of decide if they wanted to be part of a faction or they want to make up their own thing.
That's
That's
cool.
amazing.
Doing it in the Savage World is awesome.
Savage Land. Yeah, the
Savage
Savage Land.
Land, sorry,
That's
yeah. My bad, my bad. Savage Land, yeah.
So with the with the YouTube channel, because I'm a big fan of it. I enjoy, you guys make some awesome videos about mine, by the way. Like it's been
Appreciate that. Thank you.
one, very detailed, two, I love the minis, and three, the role play is like crazy good. I feel like that's where I kind of struggle at sometimes with role playing. But you guys do an amazing job. How did the channel kind of become? Like, where did the idea take us back to where that came from?
Yeah. Well, we're going to collab on this answer because it's it generally, like most things, you start with an idea and then you run with it, and you find out, okay, well, that's part of what we want to do. So initially, when we were looking at doing something like this, it was we were getting together, we're playing some games. It's Marvel Crisis Protocol. You probably heard of it, or maybe you're familiar with it.
I've seen it, and I've been actually interested in it. I just haven't tried it out yet.
Yeah, it's a super fun game. We absolutely loved it. Some of the minis that we do use come from that game specifically. So we started collecting those things together, and we're like, we've got these sets, we've got these characters. It was a fun game. We're like, you know what, this could be something that we could enjoy just putting together and coming up with a storyline to go along with it. But when you're
Hmm.
playing with that type of game and trying to put a story to it, we ran into a bunch of issues. There were a bunch of characters that weren't released yet. We just didn't have access to them, and there was just so many things we wanted to do. And then lo and behold comes along the role play game, but with all these wonderful Marvel characters, Marvel Multiverse. And I think it just sort of lit a torch for the both of us, because now we're just like, okay, we've got a game system, we've got minis, we've got characters. I think this is the story element. This will allow us to do the story element that we really wanted to do with Marvel Crisis Protocol. So we took a look at what would that look like. Um,
Hmm.
and we wanted to do a game, but we also wanted to tell more story. So we started this off with essentially what we wanted to do. We wanted to get the action onto the table. We wanted dynamic action shots of the
Hmm.
characters in the environment that everyone's familiar with when they open up a comic book. That was part of the feel that we wanted to capture. And yeah, and I think you start with an idea, you start running with it, and along the way, you learn tricks and tips and things that do work. I think our first few episodes, we were just staying on one tabletop and just sort of playing a bunch of different characters like we would have if we were playing Marvel Crisis Protocol. But that, of course, becomes fairly difficult when you're trying to role play so many characters all by yourself,
Yeah.
right? Um, and
Yeah,
yeah,
our
sorry.
origin really was in wargaming or tabletop strategy games, where it's like
Hmm.
two people play against each other, right? So, um, our role play experiences were very limited. So I was very flattered for you to say earlier on that our role play was actually pretty good, because we are very new at that sort of thing. We are, yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was kind of our tag, yeah, as Copy was saying at the beginning, like right with the action is like we can cut out some of the role play that we're comfortable with or don't know how to do quite too well yet.
Yeah.
But you need the role play obviously for role playing games, so we're slowly, packing more of that in or put in what we can. And thank God for editing, because that gives you the freedom of like, I didn't like that line. Can I do that again? I'm like, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Not that we do that, but I'm just saying that that's
No,
an option out
sorry,
there, of
all the
course.
time. First
It's
try.
it's all one take, one time. Yeah. Mm.
I'll say that's exactly what we kind of talked before we started. I was like, I really want to do video, but I'm like, I know the amount of time editing takes. I was just like, I just can't commit to doing it. Like that
Yeah.
is so much of the work.
That's another
Yeah.
main reason why we can only really get out one a month, because we want to do something that looks nice and we put a lot of effort into it, but we both
Hmm.
have full-time jobs, right? And kids. So
Same.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we got a couple hours each night. That's what we got to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, with audio, I was like, most of the time I can just press a couple buttons. It'll take out a lot of the silence, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, we are completely good. It'll take me 15, 20 minutes max to like edit an episode. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
get
I
me,
can live with that.
get me
Humble
jealous.
brag. All right, no, that's good. So good.
So I'm curious because some people might not know, but what is the relationship between two? Like, how do you guys know each other? I know this is probably super obvious, but how do you guys
Well,
what's there?
Canada has pretty loose laws when it comes to cloning. So it was just, some playing around with some 3D printers and some DNA and some like lightning rods on the ceiling. And no, we're we are actually twin brothers. Born in the 80s and sort of grew up well, obviously grew up together, but grew up loving comics, loving Marvel, loving the heroes.
Hmm.
You're probably familiar with the X-Men. You're probably familiar with the
Just a little
original.
bit.
Maybe you've probably heard of them. Yeah, I don't know. And that when that TV show came out in the early 90s or mid 90s, um, that was it was just we would just take on characters and we would just be playing those characters with each other. We'd be buying up the comic books, having conversations about these. It was basically like your what do you call it? Soap operas, right?
Yeah.
For kids. And so often, it's just something that we fell in love with, something we identified with. And it's just great to have, a best friend that you grew up with and just hang out with all the time that has all the same interests with you. And it's just something we've been doing ever since. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember as a kid, it was always a hunt to try to find some of the action figures for Marvel, just so we can get out there and play our own games and mimic the TV series and mimic the comic books. And now as adults, we can make our own minis.
There you
Pretty
go.
awesome.
I feel like that 90s TV show was I'm a kid of the 90s, early 90s for me. And so that TV show for me was also like very influential.
Oh yeah.
That's why I love the X-Men. Wolverine is my favorite character. It played a huge
Nice.
part in kind of, I would say, like a lot of people who kind of watch that show in general. And like the theme song is just like one of the
Mm.
most iconic
I
songs for me.
It still gives
Mm.
me goosebumps every time I hear it, right? Like
Yes.
I don't care if it's nostalgia, but I don't care. Give it to me. I'm so excited that they rebooted the series. I know season 2 it's come out or it's almost out.
I think it's
Me
July
too.
2nd, I want to say.
Yeah,
First
so
or second,
it's
something
come
like that.
yeah, so it's coming out real soon. So super excited to see that and yeah. Um that's kind of it's really our jam. And there are plenty of role-playing games out there. We played a bunch of role-playing games as well,
That's what
different
I was going to
products,
ask you.
but
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. So, Marvel wasn't your original first role-playing game. What was the first kind of role-playing game for you guys in?
well, probably what most for everyone, it's D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, right? That's
Actually, it wasn't.
well,
Not
okay.
technically. Yeah, we actually used that it was the Star Wars game. I think it was
Oh, Imperial Assault?
not Imperial Assault, no,
No.
that Rebel one. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it now because we
Turn around, it's probably on right
oh
behind you.
well actually yeah, hold on, is it here or did I no, that was there was a
That's
kind of
right.
the Force and the
Yeah,
Destiny, whatever that one was. Sorry, Force of Destiny or something. That was a
so we
spin-off of
don't do anything. We don't do anything straightforward. We have to complicate the hell out of everything before we can settle
yeah,
on something.
we
So we
constantly mash up multiple
combined,
different games together. Yeah.
yeah. So Star Wars. So Star Wars is another huge thing for us. Um, you
Ooh,
know,
we're gonna get into that later because
for sure. But
here on the
yeah,
podcast we have a lot of debates, mostly on my part with Star Wars. But yes, continue. My bad.
no, it's great. I know we're amongst friends here. It's all the stuff we love. And but yeah, so Star Wars, I guess, as Pace was saying, was a thing that we were getting into, and there were multiple games coming out that we all just loved. We loved the X-Wing mini game, where you fly around in spaceships. And I don't know if you've played that or not, but it's an incredibly well designed game that makes you
I
feel like
remember
you're actually
X-Wing.
flying.
Yep. There you go.
There was
Star Wars:
a
Age of Rebellion. I see it.
Yep. So there was a
That was
role-playing game for Star Wars, and then there was another game, Imperial Assault, I think it's called, where you have a bunch of minis on tables and you have objectives and threat assessments, and you have to try to go through missions.
yeah.
So of course we had to combine all three of these things into a mini campaign that we'd each run for each other. And yeah, over the course of several months, we take turns, kind of similar to what we're doing here, just on a grander scale, and we would somehow combine all three of those games into a massive role-playing experience, uh, just for our own entertainment. And I still have very fond memories of that. So thank you, Pace. That is exactly where we started. You're right, before
Nice, yeah.
D&D.
'Cause
Yeah,
we got really creative with building sets as well too, and we figured, well, we want to use this for more than just I think it was probably X-Wing we maybe started with, and then we bought the
Yeah.
Imperial Assault, and we're like, okay, this is a fun board game. We can kind of take because they're internet connecting tiles like a little puzzle
yeah,
piece, so you can kind of like
Hmm.
mix and match them and make your own uh kind of
yeah.
battlefield.
Well, we also, if anyone's paying close attention, you would have seen one of our episodes featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. You
Hmm.
will notice some of the X-Wing minis in that episode, as well as a sort of a Beggar's Canyon a terrain set that I did make specifically years ago for X-Wing. So
That was going back
yeah,
like 20 years almost. Yeah, I think you're glad you still have that. Your wife didn't throw it yet.
it's in my attic. But yeah,
Yeah, it's never coming out. Sounds like once it goes to the attic, it might not ever come back out. That's what it sounds
that's
like.
exactly it. Yeah. But
Do you
yeah,
guys still participate in like any D&D or anything, or Marvel kind of the sole thing you guys play now?
well, I mean, we did like okay, every D&D, every role-playing game has the one fundamental flaw is that you need people to play it. And well, I mean, now with the internet and doing everything on roll 20
Yep.
or yeah, it makes it so much easier. So it's not really an excuse, but we had a lot more fun doing it in person, and that's sort of
Yeah.
where we started, and that's we had a few things like that over the internet. But again, even with that, schedules peter out. So it's a situation where we love doing the role playing, but we just don't have enough access to do it enough.
Yeah.
For our
I understand that.
like every yeah exactly like everyone's every our TTG lament. So that was the problem between Craig sorry Paste and I would be that we would just love to play these games but we would we just mostly had ourselves to rely on to have the ability to do it. So we had to create sort of ways for us to have the full the full party experience and be able to run through certain campaigns. And that's why we
Yeah.
sort of we just rely on each other to do that. And
I
yeah,
I fully understand. I was like, I would love to like
that's how it
actually
works.
be playing in person, but it's like there's four of us between other people's schedule, and then I have kids, some of them they have kids, and so it's like trying to find that perfect time. So for us, like we actually record every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks. So it's like that gives everyone enough time to kind of set things aside, or be like, hey, I can't make it this day. Can we switch to a different day? But I would love to actually play in person, but we do it over kind of roll 20 and using Zoom as well. So it'd be like a combination of like roll 20 and like sometimes in our imagination as well.
Mm.
But one of my guys, he's a huge D&D person. Um, he's been playing, I don't know, I'm gonna say like 15 years, I want to say. And so like he is like the one who I can rely on who's get heavy into role playing. And then some of my other two guys, they're pretty new to like role playing games. This is the first one they've ever played. This is also my first one I've ever played. And so we're all
And
just taking it how we can.
that's amazing. It is a great game system, and I say that because we've we there are so many obviously out there. D&D being the big one. We got Daggerheart. We've got um, okay now that's going to just jump out of my brain right now. But Pathfinder. There's so many. It's similar, but they run on slightly different game mechanics. They use the D20s and all those other stuff. But along comes Marvel Multiverse, and we're just going, no, we're going to do the role play thing, but we're going to do our own thing, specifically because it's a 616 dice system. I mean,
Hmm.
how crazy is that? But they made it work, and it works so dang well because you're not just
Yeah.
relying on a 1 out of 20 chance to roll that crit. You get basically a 1 out of 6 chance to get that
Yeah.
that critical feel, right? And you can do so much with that. If you the dice really helps you tell a story in this game. Plus, just the power mechanics. It feels like you're actually controlling this really super powered person when you're using these characters and the ability to just flavor it as certain things and have that real action moment, especially if you roll that fantastic result. It's
Yeah.
just it's a really fun feeling.
Yes, I would completely agree. Like I remember the first time that someone in our group like got the Ultimate Fantastic. It was like, oh wow, like that was really nice. Like it's a really good feeling once you actually get that.
Yeah. I think one of our first Ultimate Fantastic was like against opening a door or something. So I mean, like even still, it's like, okay, how do we make this feel ultimate?
Just explode the door. Yeah.
Yeah, just blow that door off its hinges. Yeah.
So how long has the channel been around? I'm curious. Like when was that first video, and how do you think you've kind of improved since that first video? Because I
Oh
understand like
gosh.
That first
Wow.
episode, I remember we got our first episode out. I cannot go back and listen
Yeah.
to that first episode.
I can't either. I'm glad we've incrementally improved a lot. Both our role play, our just being in with a camera in front of you, you just get a little more comfortable with it, and you can talk a little bit more, I guess
It's
louder.
st Yeah, you're absolutely right. But it's still difficult to do math in front of a camera. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's
Oh,
and
oh
this
boy.
game does need a lot of math.
Yeah.
We
Don't
we
even get me
refuse.
started.
We do have access to demi-plane, which is a fantastic way
Yes.
to get your characters up and going and upgrade them
Yeah.
and just create them.
Demi-plane has really
Fantastic.
saved us. Yeah.
It's really good. But when we roll dice, we like the tactile feel of just cracking those bones together and throwing them on the table. So
Yes.
yeah. So we refuse to do the math, through the system, but to our own detriment probably. But yeah, the channel started 2 years ago. I'm gonna throw it out there.
I'm gonna
But
say it's
that
around, yeah, well, 2 and a couple months now. Because we started, yeah, our first video came out around January of 2024,
Hmm.
hmm,
I believe. If I'm doing math correctly.
yeah, yeah,
But we had a few videos recorded before that, locked in the chamber. I had like about 3 different videos, I think, edited, and we kind of dropped all three within a couple weeks of each other, just to get some
Hmm.
videos out on our channel first, and then we did the Alpha Flight one, and that was kind of my genesis of really why I wanted to pull away from Crisis Protocol, because they didn't have any Alpha Flight characters or Fantastic Four
Yeah.
characters. I'm like, I really want to play those guys. And then I found some models that I could 3D print of those characters, and then Mar Marvel RPG came out with the character profile sheets. And I'm like, this is amazing. So we have to get these guys on the table. So yeah, I bought a printer, made the characters, and then yeah, we had so much fun. I think copy that may have been your first time narrating. I think was for
yep,
the Wrecking Crew versus Alpha Flight.
that's
Yeah, I
right.
remember that one.
And
Yeah.
we had
Okay.
that was one of the more popular ones, I think. That really took off and helped us, get our channel out there a little bit. But even still going back to that one, it's like, ooh, like I didn't have our angles on our camera set up. I had like a camera like it was right in front of my face on that one, and it was like a little bit of an angle, and I had to skew the shot a bit, and I don't know.
Oh, see, I'm literally just thinking about so much editing. I'm just like, oh, I know that is so much.
Yeah.
I was like, I know that is so much.
Yeah, we
We're using green screens back then as well too, and I
that's
think I like the
yeah.
feel of just being in one room and not having to deal with that, having to edit out a green screen in the background and having to drop. Now that's just another thing I didn't want to have to deal with when doing edits.
Yeah, it was a great like you said, we start with an idea and think, oh, that's super good. Now we've got a green screen, we can do anything, we can put it put ourselves in any environment, just sort of really sort of bring people into the game with us, right? Get us into the atmosphere that we want our players to, or our viewers to feel like they're
Hmm.
at the table with us. Um,
I was like, yeah,
but
because your
yeah,
camera angles are like literally right there at street level some of the times. I'm just like, I don't know, you guys must have zoomed in really well. I'm like, I feel like I'm at street level with it. And
Mm.
then you guys started adding
and
like the pop-up captions of like what the characters are actually saying. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, these guys are
yeah.
cooking right now.
And thank you so much for that, because that was one of the things we really wanted to hit as we're doing this, because not only do we want to sort of tell the story, we want to bring everyone into it just like you're reading a comic book. And because that to us is why we love Marvel so much. It is the world outside your window, but it's a fantastic, marvelous world with all these superhuman people in it. And yeah, gosh, you're so right. The amount of work that goes into it is a lot, but it's out of love, and it's out of
Yeah.
appreciation for the game and appreciation for our viewers, and that's what they really love, because that's what we really love too, and we're happy to keep doing that. Now things have changed. Like you said, we're not doing the green screen anymore. That's fine. We don't, that was not necessary. It was just a sort of an extra thing. But one thing that you will continue to see in our videos is right down in models, in sets, as much as we can, and getting you right to where the action is.
I got to work
Yes.
on my painting a little bit so we can get. I'm not so self-conscious about the close-up shots. It's like, oh,
Okay.
my eyes don't
It's
look real
funny.
good.
You talk about the painting part of like the minis. So I was like, I know earlier we talked to 3D printing. I am terrible at anything art. Like if I have to print, if I have to draw, if I have to make a circle, I am so terrible. So it's like I have to get something that can do the color for me, because if I have to color, nobody's gonna look right. Everybody's gonna look absolutely terrible.
Two colors, no detail. Don't zoom in. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
wargaming for years, and we've been painting in basements and in attics, and for like basically since we've been teenagers. Like Warhammer 40K may have been the first thing we started, painting up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Top. So we've been doing it for a long time, and I wish I could say our skills have improved since then, but
Oh, they have. Well,
yeah.
at least yours have for sure. I mean, I'm still just trying to do big strokes on terrain. You're the one doing all this fine detail on the minis, so that's
Oh, I have big
that's
magnifying glass. That's the only thing I can say right now. Yeah, I'd really try to zoom in because of painting these little mini modules. That's so hard. Yeah. And
So let me ask both of you guys, do you guys prefer being a narrator or the player? Because I hear that once you become a DM, you are forever a DM, basically.
ha,
And I am experiencing that so far. So I was like, yes, so do you guys enjoy
that
being a narrator or player more?
is a great question. And I think I'm not gonna say I'm gonna sit on the fence on this one, but I am gonna say both because it was a decision that we said at the beginning of it. Like we both like this game, we both want to play it, so we can't just lock someone into being the narrator. We're gonna take turns. It may not just be like one to one to one to one. If we've got a great idea and you really want and it's your story and you really want to run it, then run it. But if you've got characters you really want to play and you want these characters to be in a certain setting and you want to enjoy playing those characters, then the other one's going to narrate that and we're going to give you a good story. And yeah, so
yeah.
it was just a decision we both agreed to, and we weren't going to lock one of us into the narrator seat and the other one just gets to play all these characters. Plus, there's some characters I am not maybe a super fan of that I know Paste is an absolute crazy person for. So of course I want to give him the opportunity to play those characters, and that means I will come up with a story for him to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we both enjoy the process, and it's important that we don't get burnt out on doing one or the other.
Yeah.
For sure. That's why one
Okay.
shots are fun for us as well too, because we're get to play a whole bunch of different characters and always bring different villains and different factions and different teams that we can bring in there as well too. And that was the thing as well too when you're playing a game that has so many teams. So we got like Alpha Flight, you got the X-Men, you got X Force, X Factor. It's just there's
Yeah.
so many groups out there, right? The Avengers, of course, and West Coast Avengers, East Coast Avengers, all the different type of Avengers.
Yeah, all of
Really
them.
want to get these teams together and play with them, but it's hard to get people to play as a Fantastic Four as well too, right? And if we're
Hmm.
the narrator's job is to play all these different characters, and it wasn't too much of a far stretch for the player to maybe take on a few extra characters and play them as well too if you wanted to play as a team, much like you might
Hmm.
do in Marvel Crisis Protocol, where it is a team-based, objective-based game. You play your team versus your opponent's team. The difference is that we're sprinkling in just a lot more, voices and narration for those specific characters. We're role playing each character. It gets a little confusing sometimes. And again, thank goodness for Demiplane because that helps keeps, all the character sheets easy for us to read and reference. And then again,
Hmm.
for editing, because we're pausing, like, wait, didn't he have a power that did this? I'm like, what is this guy's traits again? And yeah, it's a lot to keep all those characters in your head. But as narrators, especially the full-time narrators would know, yeah, keeping multiple different character sheets in mind, or it's just part of the job, right? So
One of the big things for me is like I need to start. So on the character sheet they have like the personality. I feel like I
Mhm.
should start reading those more because I feel like I know these characters, but then I feel like
No,
I
What?
speak wrong for them. I feel like I should
no,
start reading the personality more.
you can if you want to know how. Yeah, if you want to do a deep dive into those characters, then definitely you take take the plunge and go onto the wikis or whatever else. But I mean, comics have been around for a long time. If the character's been around for a long time, you're going to find out that it gets weird in most
Yeah.
places. So it's more of how do you envision that character being? Like you can read the quick bio and sort of get an idea as to what this character is sort of it dealt with or where their powers come from or what their situation is, but it really has to come from like what is your idea of this character. And that's what's so great about the multiverse is because the way you play it or the way you see that character may not be the way someone else would do it or may not even be the correct canon version of this character now because they've gone through so many different writers' versions and rewrites and
Hmm.
rebirths and what do you call those things when comics just stop and then restart and again they
Oh
just
yeah.
try to restart this whole
Starting
thing,
number one.
right?
Don't even get me started on that. Yeah.
Oh, believe me. So there's no wrong way to play these characters, and so yes, it's great to have an idea as to who they are, and but if you feel that this is the character that you like and this is what you like about them, then play into that, roll into that, right? And you just take that and go. If you watch the Fantastic Four and you saw the Fantastic Four back in the 1970s or 60s cartoons or whatever it was, the comics, before Reed Richards and Sue Summers became married and they had all these kids. No, if you just want, the true version, the honest version, the Stan Lee original version, if that's the version in your game that you're running, then that's what you get to do, right? You
Yeah,
don't
just be a little
have
careful
to.
there because those stories did not age very well. Maybe
Okay,
don't.
no, not right. Okay, yes, politically and whatever else,
I know.
yes,
I think
but
about not Hank Pym. Yeah, the whole
maybe
slapping
that's
of her. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's
no,
probably
I
not the
know.
best
I
role
know.
play ideal,
It's
huh?
rough, you know?
no, 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 yeah. Well, so yeah, okay, with context, but yes, that is,
Yeah, but
there.
to add to that, I mean, the way they've made the character profiles in the books, all credit to the four Becks
Oh,
there. They put a
yeah,
lot of love into the researching for the characters. I know they did a lot of work. I think Matt and Morty Forbeck were talking about that on your
Yeah,
podcast as
no,
well.
they read a
The
lot. Yeah.
research, yeah, they did to it. But over the years, things have changed so much, right? So it's hard to condense all that and just do a little character bio page, right?
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, you take the parts that you like, leave off some of the parts you don't like, and that's my version of my character. That's all I'm
Mhm.
playing on, right? So, but it is
Yep.
fun to read the bios to catch up and like, oh, really? That's happened. I haven't heard about this character in forever.
Uh,
Like, oh, that's
I
cool.
would tell you when the Spider-Man book came out, there were so many Spider characters. I was like, oh, I've never heard of this Spider
no,
character. I was like, there were so many. I was just going through. I was
Oh,
like, oh
yeah.
wow, this is
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I well, so Pace and I are also gamers in the collectible card game Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay,
Probably heard that
okay.
too.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna talk about
so
that later. Continue.
yeah, so I could tell you exactly. Yeah, there's just so many characters that we're collecting these cards and we're like, who is that? I thought Marvel's kind of our jam. Who the heck are all these
Well,
things?
I mean, it's
But
it's
yeah,
kind of always been like that.
Yes.
'Cause even as young teenagers, way back when you collect the trading cards,
Hmm.
especially the Marvel ones that came back, and the 9x9s, you collect them, and they'd all make was one big giant picture. I forget what series that was. Forgive me, but
Is
I
it like the
love
ultra? I
collecting.
think it's like the ultra fleer. Maybe I think that's what the
Yeah,
those one was.
binders upstairs. I'd have to go grab that room, refresh my memory. But I loved collecting them. I love how it was a collage of all the characters, but I'd say at least 60% of them I may have known, and the other 40 was like, who the heck are these guys? Especially the villains.
Hmm.
It was just fun to look at the back of them and sort of when they had their power ratings. That was always fun for me too, to figure out like how they rated them and just do
Yep.
a synopsis. It's so cool. But even with
I definitely understand that.
yeah, Copy was saying that to you with the Magic cards that are coming out town. I'm so excited for the new Marvel set that's going to go out soon.
I guess let me go ahead and I'll get the yeah, let's go and talk about the a little bit. Okay, so I've never played Magic. Okay, I saw the Marvel set is coming out. Guys at work was like, "Hey, you got to get into Magic." I was like, "Oh, I don't really want to. There's a lot of different cards I don't really, or there's no IP I care about to get into Magic." And I said, "No, but a Marvel set is coming out." I was like, "Well, hang on, okay." So I am a collector too. I was like, okay, let me look into it a little bit more. I bought some of the Avatar: The Last Airbender cards because I'm a big fan of that show.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
But
very
then
nice.
when the Marvel one was just told to me about the other day, I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, not even kidding, just yesterday, I went to the local game store. I pre-ordered the collector box for Magic. I don't
nice.
know how to play, I don't know how to play, mind you. I picked up that and I'm struggling right now to figure out which commander deck I want to pick up because again, I
Nice.
don't know
All of them.
anything. I just want the cards. That's what he said too. I was like, hang on now. That thing is like the collector box is like 450. I was like, all right, hang on. I
Y-
can't go too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, gosh, a slippery slope for this one for sure. Yeah, well, I don't know how much we'll stick with Marvel Multiverse and then we can get into that a little bit later.
that's
But
that's fine.
my gosh, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, for sure it is.
That
We'll let you know which your best commander shot it is, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So let me ask you guys. So far, out of kind of all of the characters that you have role played so far, are there any ones that kind of stick out to you the most that you're like, oh yeah, I really enjoy playing this character? Or it's like, ah, I wasn't a big fan of playing this character, or you felt like you played it wrong. Are there any characters like that?
Oh gosh, yes. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange, the
Hmm.
comics as well as even uh, Cumberbatch in his portrayal of Doctor Stephen Strange. I mean, I thought he did a great job, and I wanted to play that character so bad. Um, it's just so complex that character. He's got such a long history with the game, and to be able to say all of those magical phrases and just sort of be a very intelligent, highly analytical, um, even surgical character is just not my foray. It is not what
Hmm.
I'm used to playing or can play. So I found that one very, very challenging, although I absolutely love the character. Um, and then as long as I'm still going paced, I'll just give you one jump in just a sec. But characters I absolutely love, and before we even started this channel, it was something that I've always wanted to play was the Guardians of the Galaxy. I absolutely love Rocket and Groot, two of my very favorite characters, and the ability to just get those two misfits onto the table and just do some shenanigans, especially
Hmm.
with Peter Quill, Star Lord. Oh yeah, that was heaven for me. I really enjoyed that one.
There, yeah,
Okay.
I think that was the first characters we had you play when I was introducing you to the game because I discovered the game just maybe before Copy had. I think I was the other
No,
two,
my
wasn't it?
first character, if you remember, was Gambit. That's how you knew you can
Oh
get me
yeah,
hooked
yeah,
on
yeah,
this
yeah. I
game.
hit you with Gambit, yeah, because I know Gambit's your favorite X-Man.
Hmm.
But then yeah, our first actual proper playthrough because we did the intro there, the Hydra one.
Yeah,
Oh,
enter
yeah,
Hydra.
Enter Hydra,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, I had you play Rocket and Groot, and I think your son was playing Groot, if I'm not mistaken. And you took on Rocket, and yeah, and we had a blast with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I knew how to hook you and start with Gambit, and then hit you with the Rocket and Groot, and then that's
Yeah,
when we
that's
started
it.
playing.
Yeah, you knew the combo, it sounds like.
Yeah. Not that it took much convincing, but yeah, I knew that would lock him in solid. For myself, again, similar, yeah, similar to Copy's answer. When I played Mr. Fantastic, I loved Fantastic Four and the Thing especially. But Mr. Fantastic, I do really enjoy as well, but it is hard to play for me an intelligent character, especially a guy who's like so super smart. It's like, well, how do you sound intelligent? How do you make, how do you talk about periodic table like, confidently and efficiently and whatever else? And it's like, so I cannot. It's gonna have to be as read that he knows what he's talking about, but I don't as the player. But let's say Reed.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. And it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on here, but I'm sure Reed does. So let's roll with advantage, hopefully, here on this. Or sorry, edge. That's the D&D coming out
I,
again. We
I know
constantly saying
the guy who
religion.
plays with me, he does it. He does it all the time too. And I'm just I get it and I know what you're trying to say.
There you go. Everyone does, yeah.
But
But there's so many favorite characters I've enjoyed at the table so far. I loved Alpha Flight. That was really fun. But I'd have to say, there's two of them, honestly. I liked playing Spider-Man, Peter Parker. He's a good
Hmm.
time. And most recently, the most fun I've had roleplay and as a character was Ant-Man. His power set was really fun to play around with, the growing and the shrinking. And just he's kind of a jokey, jovial character. He was just a good time to play Ant-Man. Yeah. And we had
That's one of
a
the powers I
guest.
haven't played with.
Oh, they can
it
get
is,
broken fast.
yeah,
Be careful.
speedsters get a lot of flack for being, I think, kind of broken, but yeah, those shrinking grow powers can really mess with your game. It lends more to the theater of the mind rather than being on tabletop. Um,
Yeah,
but
especially when you get skyscraper size. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing that on the tabletop. Okay, if you want to do a kaiju fight, this is going to be theater of the mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's difficult, and that is maybe what we can talk about too. Is there's some limitations as to what we can do if we're trying to stay with our, I guess you call it our shtick, which is to
Hmm.
bring you to where the action is onto the tabletop, and that's definitely one of the things we're going to continue to do. But maybe you kind of noticed when we were trying to do the Thing versus Sandman, and just have a big battle royale with them. Well, it's one of the grow powers for Sandman is to get super huge,
Hmm.
but we only had a certain limited space on the tabletop. So it was a bit of a challenge in order to sort of figure out how we're going to do that. Maybe we had to sort of tweak the rules a little bit, because essentially I think the whole time Ben Grimm, the thing, was just sort of stomping on top
Yeah.
of Sandman as he grows to this huge gargantuan size that's going to fill our tabletop, fill our entire tabletop.
Yeah.
Um, and how do we how do we possibly get that on camera, and how do we make that work?
Yeah,
So we
that's
did
a
what we
tough one
could,
to do. Yeah.
Mm. Well, the game
but
does lend stuff to say that you can, the size can be, as wide, not necessarily as tall, right? You can kind of adjust the size of the squares with character huge or gargantuan or whatever the sizes are. So Sandman was a perfect example of that, right? Because he'd go, out wide as opposed to up tall, right? And still
Hmm.
benefit from being that the bonuses to the attack and or easier to hit, obviously, because he's just everywhere. Just stomp on the ground, you're hitting him, right?
Hmm.
And it was fun to do that as well too. On the tabletop. That was a fun one to play around with, and I think we bought some like that kinetic sand. I think from like just a local
Like the kids'
store.
toy. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. But
yeah, kids they play with it before, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say one the things you mentioned was like a broken power. For me, the one that gave me the headache the most. So we got through the entire Cataclysm of Kang. That took us over a year to do.
Good
The
job.
one
amazing.
that was broken was teleport. Oh
Oh,
my goodness. My
oh
guy
yeah.
abused teleport. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. I gotta figure something out.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, that one to me felt like it was broke there for a while.
I want to play Nightcrawler so bad, but I'm worried about the teleport powers. It's just like, oh, even with Lockjaw, that's why I think in our Christmas special, I
Hmm.
didn't want to play Lockjaw as a character. I wanted him to be an NPC because I know
Hmm.
with his teleport powers, it can get out of hand, right? So I wanted the narrator to have more control over what Lockjaw can or cannot do so we don't totally break the final fight open too easily. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so yeah, with Lockjaw
Yeah.
we were a little bit careful with teleportation. We
It's
were limiting that, yeah.
it is a very, very cool power, but it is something that yeah can definitely break open your game. I mean, especially if you, I don't know, like you just have so many things where we had one episode with, again, going back to Doctor Strange. I think it was with She-Hulk and Doctor Strange, and Pace had this huge battle prepared with Captain Marvel, and he's like, yeah, good luck here with this one. And in one round, we had Doctor Strange just pop up a portal, She-Hulk just smash, and
Through it, yeah,
shove,
yeah. Quick
yeah,
buff.
Daryl Canver through the portal, and then close the portal, and bam, that was the end of the fight.
Yeah.
So it was,
We definitely had stuff like that happen. Like I had this big boss battle ready, and these guys just like one shot. I'm just, oh, that didn't work out as well as I thought it
yep,
would.
sorry, it's yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what specifically was it? It was just something similar where they opened up a portal or something?
So he's my D&D guy, so he is very clever when it comes to character building. Okay. So what he did was he had a guy who could teleport, but he also had a strength guy. And I let him build a weapon, and this was before kind of some of the iconic weapon rules were out.
Oh, I love iconic
But
weapons.
he built his to where if he got a fantastic, he could stun a character. So what he would do is he would teleport in, hit a character, stun them, and this was also before the rules for stun kind of were kind of messed with.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah.
And so my boss would be stunned for like 3 rounds straight. I was just like, oh, I
Mhm.
can't. I gotta figure out how to do something with it. And so yeah, him being able to teleport kind of all around, it was hard to hit him because he was able to kind of use blink and as a reaction get
Yep.
out of the way. And so yeah, the teleport, that one was the one I was like, okay, this is a little difficult to deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
think
am.
we with playing with Fuzzy as well, with the Alien 616, he right off the bat said, this is the way we've got certain characters, we've got certain character sets, certain things are just off the table. Like the Skulk
Hmm.
power is off the
Yep.
table. Those types
We
of
changed
teleport
we
things.
actually
Yeah.
changed that rule actually. So the way we do skulk is you can skulk. So in the rule book it say you can skulk, but you can't do it multiple times, I think, or something like that. So what we do is if somebody wants to skulk behind the person who just skulked, we would actually have them do a melee check to see who's stronger. So you think of it like these guys
Yeah.
are like roughing around each other, trying to get around each other, and whoever is the highest was the one who actually basically got turned around and got hit by the incoming. So that was one of the rules that we did homebrew as
Yeah,
well.
that's a good idea. Yeah, like these rules, they've Matt and Marty Forbeck have both on the record saying this as well too. I mean, like they're just guidelines, right?
Hmm.
Play with the game. You can stay strict to the rules if you want to, but honestly, when it gets to the tabletop and you're with your crew, just kind of roll with it, just play with it, bend the rules, break the rules, whatever. As long as everyone's having a good time, that's the main thing, right?
Yep.
Um, what was I going to say as well too? Sorry, there's something I wanted to jump in earlier. Oh my gosh, it's I think it's gone now. Sorry.
Elizabeth,
You're good.
Back
certain
me up.
power sets. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
sorry. I was going to say yeah about stun. Like I think it was very good for the health of the game that they came up with an alternate for stun because even in
Oh
D&D,
yes.
getting stun locked is just okay. So the big bad is unless they have legendary resistances, stun
which
lock is a
D&D
horrible
thing.
thing to happen. So yeah, at least now they have trouble on their action checks. Cool. They can't move.
Yes, I can live with
Tactically
that.
wise, smart,
Mhm.
but at least they can do something now, which is nice, right?
And how
Yes.
about your big bads? They came out with the sinister plots, right?
Yes. That
And
helped
that
out a
is,
lot too once we
yeah,
got
I think
that.
that's been very, very helpful. Otherwise, we just sort of been playing with our own home rules as well. But to be fair to your players, you want to be able to within the certain guidelines say, okay, this is the reason why that it was a great hit. You got your stun off. But he is a high rank. He is a very resilient character. The stun's not going to have the same type of effect it's going to have. Or you can start using these plot points, and that way you have a resource to say, okay, well, yeah, you got the stun, but no, I'm going to have to use this plot point that I have, and we're gonna change this up, or make you re-roll that, or do something like that, right? It just makes your encounters survive so much longer, and that's a good thing. It's very healthy for the game because yeah, it'd be cool for your players to come in and to say, yeah, we got in there, and we one shot at it. But how many comic books have you enjoyed, or how many movies have you enjoyed where the heroes just come right in and just steamroll the big bad, right?
Yeah.
It's
And there's
not
well, I will say there's some movies you're like, hang on, he should have died from that first shot. But I'm just ignored. I'm gonna ignore it.
It's
right.
the
See,
duality.
that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
duality
it's
between playing a game and and watching or reading a book. Yeah, like players love they come in and just one shot the villain and they would have a great time. They cheer and go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the DM's like, I failed. I didn't do this properly. My big bad was a chump, but the players were like, yes, we did it one shot. And especially if you're a min maxer like cop someone over there.
look, if they're going to give
Uh
me rule sets,
learn to
if
abuse
I'm
them
going to
and
get more action
maximize them.
economy,
Yeah.
I
Um
would definitely say I used to take it personal. Like I was like, I had this whole thing because for me, I mean, we're a little over a year, and we might even be close to 2 years. No, I think we're definitely over a year at this point. But it's like this is my first time being a narrator, so like I just take it personal. I was like, I cannot believe these guys just completely messed up my plans. Now I don't know what to do. But like once I got to plan more and more, I was like, you know what? It's fine. Just know this next encounter about to be a little bit harder. Just
yeah,
know
you
that.
learned that. Yeah.
So I
that's
Well,
right.
learned to
that is true.
kind of adjust. And I guess that goes to my next question because people are finding this game all the time. Before the game came out, I didn't even know about the game for a long time. I randomly found about it, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go buy the rule book. I didn't have anybody to play with, but I was like, I'll figure something out. Do you guys have any advice for newer narrators? And I like to ask this because at one point I was a new narrator. Hell, I think I'm still a new narrator. I mess up all the time. But like, is there any advice? People ask for this all the time. Any advice for new narrators?
My
Yeah.
my so okay, yeah. Paste, you go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Just want to jump in real quick because I was thinking that as well too, and I had some good advice said to me once is that everybody at the table is on your side and they're rooting for you. So as the narrator, if you're a little nervous or about running something, or if you don't think it's going to go right, or just keep in mind that it doesn't really matter. You don't have to put extra pressure on yourself. Everyone there's at the table to have a good time. Pitch it to the players, the people at the table, try to give them their moments to talk and shine. It takes the pressure off you as the narrator as well too. All you need to do is just have the story in your mind. You don't have to script it out. Please don't script it out. You're gonna
Yeah.
want to you know uh, paraphrase as much as you can. Just have an idea, an outline, because the players are going to change your concept of your story. That's a good thing. Roll with the players. We're all telling the story together. So just have your concept, your outline, and start. just kick the story off and then hand the narrative ball to the players and see where it evolves from there, right? Have some idea of like how you want to spring your traps or bring in your bad guys. Maybe it's not in the same location as you have before, but that's okay. Just or maybe you had a great idea for this encounter, but it didn't happen because they went on route B instead of route C. Cool.
Hmm.
Bring that back in another session, right? Never throw away a plot idea or a plan you had for one session. If you didn't get around to it, revamp it and bring it back next time, right? So yeah, just try not to put too much pressure on yourself. Everyone, it's a game. We're here to have a fun time, right?
Yeah.
And everyone, yeah, we're all on the same side. You're not the villain. You're not the bad guy. You play them most of
Yeah.
the time, unless like for yourself, unless the player characters are the villains and the narrator gets
Yeah.
swapped out. So that's a nice twist. That's really kind of cool. But yeah, but everyone, yeah, everyone's rooting for everyone else. Everyone wants the narrator and the DM, to have a good time as well too. Even though secretly the players always want to one shot the big bads. Um,
Always.
but yeah, but we're all here to play and have having a fun experience and tell a story together, right? So as a narrator, try not to over prepare because you'll find that a lot of your preparation, was not even needed to be used that time around.
Felt that.
And
I
be
felt
prepared
that.
for
I
the guts.
prepared a lot.
Yeah,
Prepared a lot and for them to just fly past something. I just spent, 2 days trying to think of this, and you guys just flew past it. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, and I think that's very common advice, but until I know me going into my first games narrating, I had to have a module. I think for D&D that was the only way I could actually do it because I had to have a module. I had to know how this whole thing was going to play out, and then I could compartmentalize each little pocket that we were going to do in a session and play it that way, and that helped me, I think. So maybe as if it might be too much of a task unless well, the Marvel Multiverse game is a little bit different because if you're a big comic book reader or you know the movies a lot, it's in today's world, right? It's just adds
Hmm.
credence to it, right? So it's a little bit easier to role play in this. But if it's a fantasy or sci-fi game, I'd recommend maybe starting with a module, because that gives you all the history and everything else you really just need to know just to run your story. So if you do like to over prepare, start with a module first because that's really going to give you all the tools you need, and then just be prepared to wing it. Honestly,
I
that's a good thing.
I am in that stage. For me, it's like I need a module. The Alien Earth Adventure was the first one that I've done where I sort of let them have the reins a little bit, but then I also kind of directed them in a space I want them to go. I was like, in my journey as a narrator, it's like I'm not at the point to where I just need to give them complete control and think of where they want to go. It's like, so yeah, with what you said, like for me and maybe even newer narrators was like having a module. The Cataclysm Kane is a really good adventure. We ran the Murder
Yes.
World one. I was like, I needed those for myself to be able to understand how to even be a narrator. And so
Yeah,
yeah, what you said is that's very true, and that's the point I'm at in my career.
it's helpful, yeah. And even with Marvel Multiverse, like the few starter, I guess yeah, it came with the core rule book, or it released around the same time as the core rule book. The Cataclysm of Kang was an awesome one. For
Yeah,
free, you can get the Enter Hydra, which kind of leads into the Cataclysm of Klang. There's a lot of free stuff on the website as well too. I think it was marvel.com/RPG. You go there, you
yeah,
get a lot of free content, and it's really kind of cool place to get started as well too. But yeah, there are a lot of good starting modules or adventures for this game. If you do want to just see how this particular game breaks down and plays plays out, and that is kind of where I started as well too. Yeah, but it again, what I love about Marvel is that because we have so much rich history in the comic books and the movies, and it is in today's kind of environment, it is really easy to go off base and to wing it or to bring things in that you're very familiar
yes.
with and common with. So yeah, this game is a fun and safe environment to really start your narrating and DMing career.
Okay. Copy. What about you? Do you have any advice for any narrators?
I think that's pretty much bang on. I mean, if you're hell bent and just getting into this thing and doing your own adventures, make sure that you have a good fundamental aspect of how the game runs, but also have a clear picture in your mind as to where starting point A and starting point B and then starting end point C is going to be. Most adventures, most from D&D or any RPG type game, you're going to need to start off with your characters, where they meet, how they get their task, who they meet along the way, have a few skirmishes, and then have your big boss fight at the end. That's the typical go-to scenario, right? So how are you going to run that in your event? Who are the characters going to be? Have a good idea as to who they could encounter, but keep it limited to, right? This is a huge universe, but it's still your corner of the multiverse. If your multiverse is a situation like our 616, where the big heroes, sorry, the 616 alien, I meant to say, where the big heroes may not be here. They're somewhere off. They're off somewhere else, or maybe they're engaged somewhere else, or maybe they're just gone. That's part of your multiverse, and that's part of your rules. So you can construct, and have your characters in that sort of path. But I think what I found helpful to me was exactly as Pace said. You can have an idea, but don't over script it, because then you are focused on your path and not your player's path, and they might go somewhere that you did not anticipate or did not expect, and then you're stuck reading from this script that you wrote, and they're off doing something else that has nothing to do with what you prepared. So it's just essentially, it's fun for you, but that's not playing a role-playing game. That's just fan
Hmm.
fiction. You're writing fan
Yeah.
fiction. So
We
just have basic ideas to what you want to do, who are the characters you can try to introduce, have a few of them you may use, you may not use, and just sort of know, give them their tasks and their adventure, and just sort of set them on their way, and then throw a few extra things in there as it goes along. Have some contingency plans as well.
Yeah. That's another thing
And
we work with. Sorry, carry
yeah,
on.
no, I'm sure what you're about to say is fantastic, and the last thing I'm going to say is when I
I love the way you just
started
said that.
when I started getting into role-playing games, and maybe a lot of other people listening to this, it was the same way. If I found people online doing live plays, so Critical Role, right, for me was amazing. Like, of course they are, because they're the professionals, but there's Glass Cannon as well, that do some
Oh, so
some
good.
Marvel
Yeah.
Cannibal, sorry, Marvel Multiverse, and then you know take a look at our channel too, because if you want ideas to how a game can run in these one shots, that's essentially kind of what each session should kind of look like. You've got an issue, you've got NPCs and things going on in there, and you've got some tasks, and then maybe you have a big bad, or a battle or something like that, right? Fuzzy has a ton of episodes out as well, that sort of
Hmm.
shows you a certain cadence that goes through, what a typical couple sessions would look like. So draw from other people. Don't put it all on your shoulder. Go out there, enjoy it, absorb the material, and the more you absorb, the more you get used to it, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be, and when
Fully
you're sitting
agree.
down at the table with your people, you'll have a good idea, and you'll
Yeah.
feel confident. And that's maybe one of the biggest keys, is not to be nervous, but to feel confident, to know that whatever goes on here today, you've got a good grasp of the game, and you can roll with it.
And yeah, what I was just gonna say is, it's kind of our bag as well too. Just doing one-shot adventures might be a good way to get your feet wet as well too. It
Agreed.
it does let you just toy around and play with a few characters. It kind of lets you get your story out, and especially if you're doing it with people at a table at a tabletop, it's those kind of stories that I find, especially when I'm doing one shots, I kind of steer it a little more sternly than if we were doing all theater of the mind, because I've got this beautiful little tabletop and this train I've set up and everything like that. And I'm like, I'm be damned if you don't, do this fight with Subway, you buggers. Like, that's how much time I spent setting this up. So we'll kind of like steer the story very specifically to like kind of the one big, fight scene that's going to happen here at the table, right? But always have your role play moments, always have plays, some skill checks possibly if you can, and you can just go off book a little bit and just have them really embellish their powers or how they would use it based on their knowledge of the character, right? Even if it's not a specific power they're picking from their list there, right? And yeah,
Yeah.
and you can just have a lot of fun and just go, very cinematic with it. Yep.
And
Yeah.
always remember to give your characters their time to shine, right? Every character
Yes.
has
Agreed.
every
Agreed.
player wants their opportunity to do something. So make sure that if you've got a couple players at your table that are really having their thing is going off, and make sure that you just pause the story and say, and then we can focus on this character too, and sort of have an idea as to what they're doing. But yeah, it's collaborative. It's not
Oh yeah.
it's not your story.
And if
It is with it's with your players.
that's true. If you were doing like more of the campaign setting, and I'm sure other people have run like D&D or Pathfinder and a few others, have a good backstory. Your narrator will appreciate that, or your DM will appreciate that, and they will actually find fun ways to pepper in your backstory into the story. So you'll be
I
rewarded
need to work
for
on
based
that.
on backstory.
That is what I need to work on because we go through our session 0 and we do character backgrounds and everything, but I don't always find a way to bring in the characters' kind of origin story and bring it back to what they want to do. And I feel like
It,
that's where I'm lacking at.
well,
That would be a
I
side
wouldn't say
quest.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of a side quest thing, right? Exactly.
True, that's true. Yeah.
If but yeah, I mean, it is nice if you can sprinkle that in. It's not always necessary or a requirement. And it allows some of your players to really feel like they're connected to the story.
Hmm.
But make sure if you're going to do that, try to give every single character their opportunity to connect as well with their backstory, because otherwise it feels like you're favoring some other players at the table, and you're sort
Yeah.
of going on their adventure rather than the adventure you had planned. So yeah, it adds a lot of extra work, but believe me, it will get your players completely invested and coming back to your table, if they know that they're a part of this world and their story, and they took the time to create this character, and you're honoring that by giving them a story
Hmm.
in your at your table. It's fantastic, but it is
And I
hard to
wonder,
do. It's not something you
and
should
I'm
start off with.
wondering if and what I guess one of the reasons we have done it. So the very first one we did was Murder World. That was a one shot, so I didn't really have to do a lot there.
No,
And then
no,
the
no. Yeah.
second one we did was the Cataclysm King, which that one took a long time, and it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm ready for this thing to be over with.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That one took quite a while. I was
Yep.
under I wanted to get that one out, so we started it, and at that time, I think the X-Men book was the second one, next second big book that's come out.
Yep.
So when I
It
heard
was
about it,
Spider-Man or X-Men. Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
It was
okay,
X-Men.
it was one of them, and I thought it was an adventure book, right? So I was like,
Mm.
okay, I need to get Kang out the way because I want to get to the X-Men book. I was like, this is going to be a massive adventure, and I was like, oh, this is something you can like a supplemental thing that you can kind of use. And I was like,
Expansion.
yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just gonna have to finish out Kang. I was like, I just have to. So I was like, maybe and then now we're on to the Alien 616, and then I guess by the time this episode
Secret
comes
Wars are
out,
coming out soon, man.
Yeah,
Secret
I,
Secret
Wars,
I
Wars.
know,
Battle
That's
World. I
I
can't
know.
yeah.
wait for the world, yeah.
And about time this episode come out, everyone they should have heard if they are listening. We are doing the Deadpool uh role plays Marvel Universe, which I've run that one outside of the podcast, and I really enjoyed that one. So I want to show these players this one. So I guess next time we do like a long one, I'll be able to kind of incorporate more of kind of character backstories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this game is new, right? Like it's only been out for a couple of years, so
Yeah,
the material is fairly scarce, and they're refining the game, they're refining the rules, they're refining some of the abilities. But yeah, it's a situation where, hopefully this game will be around for several more years, if not longer, please. And
yeah,
yeah, we'll have
happy.
more material to draw on, and more adventures, and that's always such a great thing, because maybe Kang wasn't, for somebody a catechism of Kang. If that's the only real ongoing adventure that's out there, it's not a big draw for some people. But yeah, if they get an X-Men out there, if they get Secret Wars, the Deadpool one, and more content, is just you're going to resonate, or someone's going to come along and see
Yeah,
that, and they'd be like, yes, finally, that's what I want to do. Now I'm hooked. Now I'm into it. Let's go. And yeah,
Just to
so,
put a final button on the question there, I think to bring it back to the narrators, especially if it's your first time, don't be afraid to get the rules wrong. Make a
oh
call on the
yes,
table and just run with it. And if you get it wrong and you realize it's wrong, just correct for next time, right? But it really takes the fun out of the game if you're like flipping through a book, like, oh no, I gotta get this right, and you're like reading like
nope.
whatever. Have fun with it.
The
Just make
yes,
a
I,
call.
I agree.
people
I agree.
people that have been playing this game for years and years and years, or any role-playing game, they still get it wrong, right? So don't
Oh
put
yeah.
that on yourself.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
be the one that has to have it perfect and know everything. Yeah, don't put that on yourself. That's crazy.
It's a little different when you're trying to put a show on the internet and are worried about comments. You might want to pause the camera and look a few things up in the book. But yeah, if you're at the table with your friends and you know, especially if you're pressed for time, right? You got to get people out of the house by midnight or whatever, right? Just yeah, make the call to have a fun time. Make a judgment call.
So I do want to ask you guys one more kind of final thing before we kind of switch to another segment. What is next for the YouTube channel? So you kind of mentioned that the Alien universe coming next, or universe 616. But yeah, what else? Is there anything else you can tell us about what's coming next?
Yes. I think well, as you know, we're doing some explainers. We do want to
Yes.
get some more videos that we can get out quicker. And explainers also, not everyone wants to watch a 2 hour video on role play.
Hmm.
So we're trying to combine our explainers and take the fun aspect of the game and roll some dice and put a little play aspect to it, but also go over some of the rules. So we're still intending to do a few of those. Alien 616, we're going to do our own little, what do you call?
It's
It's
gonna be a
it's
mini
not,
series, maybe
it's a
about
mini series. Yeah.
2 to 3 episodes.
That's what I did. That's what I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, same thing.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be at the
So
beginning and end. It's not gonna be too open-ended. We're definitely gonna have yeah a wrap up. I think at the end within either 2 or 3 episodes. So or at least
Okay.
a
yeah.
wrap up. You know.
Yeah.
And then we'll we're still interested in doing some more one shots. But it would be nice to have, and again, this is something we're discussing. It's not a final decision or anything like that. But Pace and I, we want our own characters too. We want to have that fun of developing our own characters, playing something that we created, and adding it to this wonderful game.
Yeah,
Um,
we've each got some character ideas for a custom character, and I think we might want to do like also a mini series based on those solo characters. We
Hmm.
a lot of stuff from the Spider-Man expansion, had a lot of stuff for solo characters and solo play, right?
Yep.
Since Spider-Man runs
So
his own comic
we'll
books,
we'll
he's
play
done a
with
lot
that
of.
idea if it's something that might be interesting, not only for us but hopefully for some viewers as well. But it also will bring in, for players that want their own superhero, like as we were as kids when we saw the X-Men and we're like, wow, if I have mutant powers, maybe I could be part of the X-Men or New Mutants or whatever it was, right?
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be cool? And so we sort of have that opportunity to create your own character and bring it into this universe and you see what that looks like. There's something we're playing with and determine if that's something that would be interesting. And then we mentioned Marvel Crisis Protocol. We've already got everything set up at our table, so we're probably going to take some time and maybe even crank out a few of those games, but with a little bit of action dice flair to it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing with the those objective-based tabletop games, they're fun to play, but they're very, competitive, and they're meant to be that way, right? But even when I was watching some of those YouTube videos of other people play Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'd like to see the character stats and them rolling dice and see how those character sheets perform, those models perform. But I get bored because there's no story to keep me gripped. And they're like, why are these guys even here? Why are they fighting over this? Why is this guy bomb here? Like, what's the story behind that, right? So
Hmm.
if we do play some Marvel Crisis Protocol on our channel, which it would be fun to do, a few people have been asking about that as well too. We definitely want to have a story element to it. So it will be, very similar to what we're doing right now with Marvel Multiverse, with the you know cold opens or the intros or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
And we'll try that. Yeah, we'll see. We are open to some other Marvel games. We're big Marvel fanboys. So whatever we do on this channel will probably be Marvel related and dice
Yeah.
related. It's in the name. So even like Dice Throne might be something we could try out.
Oh, you just mentioned
You know
I
of
was
Dice
literally
Throne?
let me yeah. Okay, so
You got the expansion.
I found out about Dice Throne 6 months ago,
Oh wow.
and
I'm late to it too.
I bought the X-Men, the Dice Throne set, so the one that comes with 8 characters. I literally am looking at them right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Every
it,
time I play that, I'm always thinking when someone rolls and they choose their attack. In my head, I'm like role
love it.
playing what would actually happen. And so I was like, it's funny. You mentioned that I was literally thinking that in my head. I'm literally like, I have that one down
We
here. Oh, so good.
we Yeah, it's such an amazing game. If no one's familiar with it, Dice Throne, it is an IP on its own.
Hmm.
But they have of course collabed with Marvel, so now they have each they have several Marvel characters that each have their own sort of set of dice, and they can each do their own little powers that sort of cater to what that character is all about. So yeah, it's a very very fun game. It's sort of a head-on-head or even like a multiplayer game if you want to do it that way.
Yep.
But yeah, so
We've
Pace
got
and I,
a
we do have a copy of that ourselves. We sat at a table. We got into our characters. I was playing Gambit. He was playing Wolverine. And yeah, we were just
Oh man.
throwing the quips back and forth. We ended up just full.
oh, I don't know
Oop,
if we
kind of lost him a little
yeah,
bit.
I can
Oh,
carry on from
look like he's back now.
a testament to
Oh,
how fun the game
sorry.
is that I think we played every single one of the Marvel characters that have come out for the game, and I'm pretty sure I
Same.
lost every single gosh darn game, and I still love it. Like even yeah, and now they've actually got a collaborative kind of co-op system where you can play the both players will kind of play against
Uh, Dice
the
Throne
villain, right?
missions. Oh, I have it at work.
Mission,
It's funny.
yes.
I take
Oh,
it to work, and we literally play at
oh,
a
do
lunch break.
you play it? Oh man,
That's so awesome.
oh, I'm so
Yes.
jealous now.
Yeah. So we'll take like we'll get halfway through, we'll flip the board, and then the next day we'll finish it out. And I just bring my characters up here. Like you can kind of see I have the retail box right there, but I also have like the Kickstarter X-Men box down below me. And I just said like, hey, we good to play today? And I'm like, we're good. So yes, we play through those missions, and I will tell you, rank 1 and 2, we're pretty good with. With
Mm,
3, 4, and 5,
mhm.
I'm like, these are hard.
I know it was close. I think we did some rank fours. I think
Oh my
um,
goodness, so hard.
it was tight. Yeah, we were like, are we doing this right? It's really close. This is really hard. It's supposed to be this hard. I'm like, yeah, we're doing it right. But yeah, man, so much fun. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that kind of brings me to what I want to talk about anyway. Let me ask you guys. So now I like to get to know people. I'm a big talker. I love meeting new people. I love learning about like different cultures and just different people's lifestyle. Because I grew up. I was people around me they look just like me. I'll just say it. I was always around black people. I wasn't around just like a lot of other races or anything like that. And so for me, it's always a learning experience when I get to talk to new people. And so I just like to talk to people in general. So what kind of hobbies do you guys have? Let's start there. Copy, we'll start with you. What do you enjoy? What gets you going?
Oh, well, it's not going to be any surprise. As I said, uh, yeah, it's well, Magic the Gathering. Okay, we mentioned that already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's been a drop off, pick up again situation, and now with some more universes beyond, they call it. So sets. So outside of Magic the Gathering, they'll bring in these other IPs. So they did with Fallout, they did it with Transformers, they did it with Doctor Who. Spider-Man was recently one, and now they've got The Hobbit. They've got so many. So yeah, the Marvel Heroes one is just coming out next month. So I'm super excited about that. I will be picking up a bunch of those cards, even including Commander decks too, just
Save
to
my
be able to
money.
have that experience of playing those superheroes again in another format. And then yeah, I mean, what I love to do is I'm reading comic books all the time, and
Hmm.
I'm when I get a chance to hang out with my
Oh, um, pausing again.
It's
Sorry.
cool. I'll always edit out any of the silence, so it's cool.
Okay.
I guess until we get them back, Pace, what about you? What do you enjoy doing?
just for
Yeah,
Marvel.
similar. I mean, I do enjoy, I'm getting back into the hobby of like painting up my miniatures, my figures, right? In between videos, I'm always looking forward to the next one shot because I'll have more minis to paint up or more little miniatures or more sets to paint. So I'm getting
Hmm.
really back into that. When I can find time to read comics, I'm delving into that. Thanks to Copy, I'm now back into Magic. I was off the wagon for a while, and then he brought me back in probably around when Spider-Man was coming
Such an
back out.
expensive game.
So,
It is such an
I
expensive
know.
game. I look
It's
at decks,
crazy.
I'm just like, oh, this is crazy.
I know. It's like I'm embarrassed when I'm trying to come home. I'm trying to like distract my wife or time it when she's not in the house and trying to sneak all of my boxes out,
Hey,
everything I bought and the cards I
I
bought.
am right. I am right there with you. I am right there with you.
Aside from that, I mean, like, yeah, even it delves into to Star Wars and Star Trek as well too. Yeah, oh gosh, Lord help me. I think even there's gonna be a Star Trek coming out set for Magic as well too. So I mean, like, my money is just flying out and going right to Wizards of the Coast. Um, but yeah, aside from that, I would like to say I had less nerdy hobbies. Man, I would like to tell you I'm out there playing sports or swimming or playing baseball or something cool and
Well,
manly or going in the woods and fishing and whatever. But outside.
You ain't
Um,
got to explain nothing to me. I used to hide being a nerd. Like my friends used to make fun of me. It was like, "Oh, you're a nerd." And then I think after college, I was like, you know what? I'm just going full out. I'm a nerd to the world. So it's like I enjoy basketball, but like these days, I'm just like, how about we find something nerdy to do instead? Like, how about we do that? So yes, I definitely know what you mean. Full nerd,
100%.
full nerd. What comics are you guys reading? Because I'm a big comic reader as well. I was reading X-Men for a long time, and then after they finished out Jonathan Hickman's House of Ten and Powers of X or whatever it was, I read just until the last. I want to say Hellfire Gala was the last one I read. No, the sword, the Ten Swords. What was that
And
event
so,
called?
yeah,
Oh,
so
Ten Swords. Whatever the one where everybody got a sword,
they
basically.
put an X in there somewhere too. Is this House of X or House of Swords or something like that? Was that maybe the one it was?
Yeah, that was yeah, and then I remember everybody ended up getting a sword, and it was like a big
Yeah.
battle. I don't know.
hmm
But then I stopped reading that, and then mostly now I read. I'm a big Moon Knight fan. So outside of the X-Men, Moon
Yes.
Knight is my other favorite character. So I was reading. I keep up with that, and then I was been reading like a lot of Transformers as well. What comics are you guys reading, or like I should say?
I yeah, the one I read recently was Doctor Strange Goes to Asgard. This is right after One World Under Doom, and I don't want to say spoilers, but
Are you still
Oh,
there?
we hear you. Yeah, we hear
son
you.
of a oh, okay, sorry. I apologize.
You're
It's
good.
my area. Anyways, so it was a really interesting story arc because it takes two of the characters that we really enjoy, which is Thor and Doctor Strange, and sort of collabs with those two. It was a great story arc. I look forward to seeing where that's going next. And then being classically trained such as that I am, I'd like to go back to the originals. So right now my big thing is I'm trying to collect all of the New Mutants
Okay.
series from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
But just right up to where they introduced Deadpool. And then they become
X-Force.
X Force. Yeah. And yeah, so that's I generally stick to Marvel, but I do dabble into DC a little bit. I know,
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah, no, yeah,
yeah,
that's how I feel too.
yeah,
Boo.
but but there was a very cool collab between Spider-Man and Superman recently. I
I
did read
bought it.
that.
I haven't read it yet. I did buy it. I bought two
So
different covers. Are you guys big variant cover fans too?
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
sucker
I
for variant
I've
covers.
been
Oh my
tricked
God.
with variant covers so many times where I thought I was going to buy a magazine that had something to do with really cool characters, then all of a sudden they're just throwing them on the front, and then I'm buying something I
Uh,
don't know, like
I
completely
have so
I
different.
many random like Spider-Man because I remember they did the Jim Lee variants for the old cards and I got so many of those. And yeah, just a bunch of random comics I'll never read, but I wanted it for the variant.
100%, yeah. I got little shelves on my office walls that basically I just, decorate with comic book covers now. If I see a cool comic book cover, I grab it. I don't even really read the comic sometimes. I just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cool. This is art. I'm hanging it on my wall. Uh, yeah, for myself, anything with Wolverine on it, I find myself reading it.
Yeah.
Always been a big Wolverine fan since.
His stuff is like hit and miss for me sometimes. Like sometimes it'd be some
Yeah.
really good stuff, and then
Yep.
I'm like, oh, this wasn't my favorite arc. Like,
Yeah, and same. So yeah, I'm off and on the Wolverine wagon, but periodically I'll find something with him to do, or even with Laura Kinney now as
hmm
the new Wolverine. Her stories are phenomenal. I've
her
been
stuff was
really
really
enjoying those.
good. Yeah, her
Yeah,
stuff was really good.
for sure. What else have I been reading recently? There was a series that kind of surprised me actually, and I wish
Are there any indie comics or anything you guys reading, like from Image or any other big guys
I
or smaller
read.
guys, I should say?
I picked up recently because it was like it was a like a 50th issue or something like that of something about fairy tales. I forget what it's like. I hate fairy tales or
Oh,
something.
I hate Fairyland
I hate Fairyland. Yeah,
with
something
with
like
the
that.
girl with the axe,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That art and the writing style was hilarious. I really enjoyed that.
I read the first volume of that one. I enjoyed that one when it kind of sort of that first volume kind of came out. I remember reading that one.
Those are good too. There's a lot of like Plants vs Zombies and stuff like that. I'm reading the trade backs with my son right now. We're going through those, and if those count, they're comic book
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean they
Yeah,
definitely count.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I collected a whole issue of several issues of Star Wars when it was the Clone Wars, right? So I wanted to find out what happened in the Clone Wars between the scenes, and they had all these books and a ton of just issues between where Dirge and Ventress were all introduced. I think it came from the comic books.
Hmm.
So and I think it
Those
was
are
Dark
Dark Horse,
Horse.
basically. Yeah, Dark
Yeah,
Horse.
those are the Dark Horse days. Yeah, yeah.
Before
Um,
Marvel got there. Well, Marvel
but
got.
yeah, I'm trying to
Do you guys read Saga? I feel like that's one of the ones I read in trade paperback. I really enjoy Saga. I hope they eventually make like an animated TV show or do something with it because I feel like that story needs to be told. I enjoy Saga a lot.
Oh, I never heard of it. No.
That's the
I
one Fiona Staples and shoot. What is it? Oh, Brian K. Vaughan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
there's so
Which
many.
one?
It usually has to come out in another media format for me, and then I realize, oh crap, that was a comic book. I want to go and collect those, right? So I'm sort of retroactive in that way. Like I'll see something cool on TV or YouTube, or and then I'll be just like, oh wow, that sounds like a really cool thing. What's the origin of this? Find out it's a comic book, and be like, okay, I gotta
That
get into that.
was that was the Old Guard on Netflix for me. I watched the Old Guard
Mhm.
movie, and then I was like, "Oh wait, this is a comic book." So then, yeah, it
Yeah.
was like two. It was only two volumes. Bought both of them, read them, and then yeah, I enjoyed that movie a lot. And then the second movie came out, and they just absolutely destroyed it.
Awesome.
Absolutely
It's kind
destroyed
of
it.
similar with it was based on the TV show. Like when Firefly, Serenity, sorry, came out, we saw the
Hmm.
Serenity movie before we realized Firefly was a TV show, and we kind of retroactively went back and did that too. And yeah, and just
Which,
found it
by the
fascinating.
way, they've continued on that series a little bit with the graphic novels too, right? So
Yes,
it's
yeah, they had their comics as well. So yeah, same with like Buffy and Angel as well too. I was big into Buffy and Angel when those shows were out, and then like, oh, great, it's comic books. So carry on in comic books. That's amazing.
So, I heard both of you guys say you're a Star Wars fan. Okay, so on the podcast, on our main podcast, I should say, we review a lot of stuff. It's a completely nerd podcast, so I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Okay, I watched every single Star Wars movie at that time in 2019. I basically watched them all back to back,
Whoa,
and I told these guys I wasn't impressed. So
really?
for me, every single time we have to review Star Wars,
it's
I'm just like, so like
yeah.
the last thing we reviewed was Maul, which that was fine. But my co-host they always make fun of me because I'm like, okay, just give me a lightsaber battle, I'll be good.
Yeah,
But they absolutely adore Andor, and I was like,
like that was
It,
amazing story. Come
first
on.
it's
three
a good story.
episodes a little mid, the first three episodes, but then 4 through 9, I want to say, was like really good.
I know they
It's good
conquered
storytelling, and
the
that's not something that the Star Wars was really sort of known for. So it's interesting. But yeah, if like I say, I got to go back to the classics.
Hmm.
Back when it was just the three movies, and it was up to you to sort of fill in the gaps with your own imagination and the what ifs. That was really amazing for us. And then extra content started coming out, games and card games and board games and sort of lets you video games as well, and sort of let you sort of play in that universe, right?
it,
Have your own piece of it.
it was the X-Wings
The
for me. I'm all about the X-Wings.
Yeah,
I was
we
about
read
X from the movies. I was like,
X-Wing
oh,
novels.
yeah. Oh yeah, the
Remember
X-Wing
those?
novel. Man, I ate those up
Yeah. So
those
it's not
those
so
got
much
me
the
into reading.
movies. Yeah, it's not so much the movies. It was the idea, the concept of the universe that these movies take place in, right? We've got the Force, you've got the Jedi, you've got the Empire, you've got all these cool space battles. It's just a wonderful world to sort of play in. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I can't say that I've enjoyed every single one of those movies. But there are certain concepts that I really, really enjoy. But there are certain shows too, like Rebel. Rebels. That sort of
That's the
take
one
place.
everybody's like, I need to watch Rebels. Because I feel like now every time we get something animated, I feel like I'm missing out something. And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, it happened in Rebels. I'm like, well, come
yeah.
on, man.
Yeah, Dave Filoni is this huge Star Wars fan. He was trained under George Lucas as well. He's got a great concept and of George's dream and how the universe is supposed to work and what to do, what not to do. So
Hmm.
it's sort of to me when Rebels came out and I started watching it, I said to anyone that would listen to me that this is the best thing that's come out since the original since the 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy, because it does sort of play in that in that sandbox, right? It's the original concept that George Lucas had, and it sort of expands a bit of the what happened between I think it was between one and two, or two and three. Anyways, but sort
It's
of like
maybe
the
one, two,
hunt
and four.
of the Jedi with when Darth Vader's there with the Emperor and the Empire's at the strength of their at the grip of their power, and the rebellion is just forming and fighting back, and it gives you all of those hero storylines, and it's these small groups fighting against this enormous power, and fighting for the fighting for the good guys, even though they really don't have a single chance. Those are the types of stories I really gravitate towards, and yeah, it's been such a great time. And yeah, I can't say that everything that's come out's been fantastic, but you pick and choose what you like, and that's when you've got something as vast and as big as Star Wars, you pick and choose what you like and just sort of
Yeah.
ignore the rest. So my son, as I mentioned, he's 14 now, but back when The Mandalorian came out with little baby Yoda and Grogu,
Yeah.
that was a way for us to really bond about the show and Star Wars, and from that we started watching the original series, and I've started his training now as to be a right proper Star Wars and nerd as well. So it was a great way to introduce him into the universe, and it's a newer version of Star Wars for him, but
Hmm.
it's all in the same universe, so it's really
I
cool.
really enjoyed season one of Mandalorian. And then I watched half of season two, and then I was like, it kind of petered out. I don't know. It's like I understand the love for Star Wars, but it's just one of those things. Like I wasn't. It's not
It's
on my
not for
first thing.
everyone.
Yeah, it's not the first thing I would necessarily go to. But also, a lot of people get mad at me too. I feel the way about Lord of the Rings too. Like people always say, "What is that? Return of the King is like the greatest movie ever." And I like to do rewatches of like certain franchises, a couple, maybe once or twice a year. And I think it was 2024. I did my big rewatch of all the movies, all the director cuts of Lord of the Rings. I'm just like, I still don't get it. And
No,
like people get so mad at me. I'm just like, I don't get it.
the books are always better. Just read the book. That's all you need. But I think, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
And
never read
this,
the book. I did enjoy the movies when they came out, but and I could go for a rewatch, yeah. But I mean, they were fun, but I'm not
yeah.
like head over heels over it. I'm like, okay, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, and this is so blasphemous for me to say, but I know it makes people mad. Uh, I actually enjoyed the Hobbit movies more than the Lord of the Rings. They definitely get mad at that too.
Oh, I haven't. I don't think.
That's a spicy take. That's a
I
spicy
know,
one.
I know,
Yeah,
I know, I know.
that one's hard to defend, but yeah, okay.
I get it.
No.
So this year, my big rewatch was the Harry Potter franchise because I hadn't
Oh.
seen them since they had came out, and so
Mm.
like I would always get a lot of movies kind of mixed up. And so this year, I rewatched all the Harry Potter movies, and then all the what's the spinoff? Secrets? I don't know,
Oh,
not
those
Secrets.
beasts,
The
something like that.
beasts, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
mystical beasts and where to find them, something like that. Yeah, yeah,
yes. So yeah, that was my big rewatch. And I'll tell people like after rewatching everything, I feel like the first three movies I wasn't a big fan of, but then they started to get a little darker and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm
yeah.
starting to like this a little bit more. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, now I'm looking for my next big thing to I'm thinking about doing either the James Bond franchise
Oh
or
boy.
the Mission Impossible franchise. I haven't decided yet because I've only seen like one or two Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, same. Actually, I would mind doing a Mission Impossible franchise run because yeah, I watched the first one when it came out. I remember going to like a drive-in or something like that to watch it. That was going back so many years. But yeah, and I don't think I've seen many more after maybe the second one. Actually, I really fell off that one. I would really like to go back to that. Even with was it Fast and the Furious?
Oh, I
That
stopped at
one definitely.
5. It
Yeah,
started to be too many. It started to
that's
be
something
too many of
I wouldn't mind trying to rewatch from beginning to finish. Even like the spin-offs, like the
them.
Fast,
Hobbs and
sorry, the
Shaw.
Tokyo Drift and
Yep.
whatever that one was. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, what about the Marvel multiverse? Sorry, universe, a movie cinematic
yeah.
universe.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
that's one of the ones that I've started to rewatch several times. Phase 1 and 2, I can easily get through those. And
Hmm.
then time always gets to me. I mean, there's like
I know
what
it's so good.
20, 30 movies, and then like we review each of the movies when they come out. And so
Mhm.
like it's I really need to do a full rewatch, but that is a huge commitment.
there's still some of the television series that I haven't seen, but one I did recently enjoy was the Born Again for
Oh,
Deadpool.
Daredevil.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daredevil. Sorry, yeah,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Born Again for Daredevil. Yes.
We just reviewed that not too long ago, season 2. I really enjoyed it. I'm not the biggest Daredevil fan, but I really enjoyed it. And even the Frank Castle one shot, the Punisher one shot was really good too.
Right, Punisher. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I, I don't want to say it loud, but I haven't seen that one yet. I think that's one of the ones I haven't seen yet. And I'm really gonna paint myself in a bad light here. I haven't seen that one yet, and I think I only got halfway through Wonder Man. Have you started Wonder Man yet?
Oh, Wonder Man was good.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed like
Unexpectedly
the first
good.
episode.
We had no expectations for that at all,
Yeah,
and it turned out to be really good actually.
and Kingsley, man, wow. I mean,
Yes,
all the actors in that show, but he's really stealing the show a little bit there. It's one of
yes.
yeah, Wonder Man, and Ben Kingsley's his character there's is it's so good. Yeah, I really need to finish that series. It's on my to-do list. I just need to get better at editing and take things off my work list, which will.
uh, it's funny. One of the things that we debate kind of all the time on the podcast. So I'm under the guise of I only watch one trailer. No matter what, no matter how many trailers are dropped, whatever the first trailer is, if it's a teaser or an actual trailer, that is the only thing I'm watching because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness
Oh,
gave the trailer were giving away too much. And
Mm.
so for me, I was like, after no, Spider-Man. What's the last Spider-Man when it came out? Something with the universe, right?
Oh,
No.
it was with Doctor Strange. Yeah, it was like No Way
Yeah,
Home.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That one was giving away way too much. And so from that point on, I was like, okay, I'm only watching one trailer. And then one of my co-hosts is he doesn't watch any trailers at all. Like no matter what it is. So it's like, where do you guys feel like how do you guys feel about trailers?
I'm kind of
well,
in the camp. It's hard to not because we're online a lot.
Hmm.
When I see them, I try to avoid them because yeah, like you, I don't want anything spoiled for me. I want to go in, not on not too high expectations either because you could you really sour the film if like if with Final Fantasy or sorry, Fantastic Four, I should say. I made the mistake of
Hmm.
watching like all the trailers and I was hard into the trailers and I look because I love Fantastic Four. But I think I went in too high expectation. It was still a good movie. I still enjoyed it, but I guess I was
Hmm.
expecting more from it. I left it feeling like a little, okay, that was all right, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
felt like I wanted more, and that's what happens. I realize when I watch the trailers and I get into it and I buy into the hype too much, and I set my
Yep.
expectations a little too high. It can never seem to reach them, right? So yeah, I'm in the camp of trying to limit the amount of trailers I watch before I go see a movie for sure.
And it's been fun, like not like going into movies not knowing anything. Because I feel like us nerds, if we go see a superhero movie, we kind of have a context for the background, like what's going
Yeah.
to happen. For instance, Guardians of the Galaxy, the last one that came out, I knew Rocket's backstory, but like it still hit me when I found out, oh, he comes from this messed up
hmm
place. But it's
Hmm.
like if we start to put stuff in our head together, like, okay, we know this is coming, we know this is coming. But like with a trailer, I don't want to actually see it. Like I just want to have to feel everything in myself. And it's even outside of Marvel, just trailers in general. Like they sometimes they give away too much.
Hmm.
See, I'm the opposite. I enjoy watching the trailers because I like to investigate things. Like I'm just like, oh, what's this trying to say? Or I try to guess, and I like to sort of have the the wonderment of oh, there's a clue here, or you try to dissect them and sort of see what the what we're really getting into, what they're setting up for. I enjoy them because it like Pace said, it hypes up the movie. And I like that. Sometimes I just enjoy watching the trailers a lot more than the actual movie itself. I don't think it
Yeah.
ruins the movie for me. It maybe my expectations weren't correct, but no, I quite enjoy those trailers and just seeing all the little, what is it called, the Easter eggs that might
Yeah.
be buried in there, and sort of like, oh, I wonder if this is going to happen. Oh, ooh, I wonder if this is going to happen. And then it starts a conversation. Sometimes I'll call up Paste and say, hey, you've seen the new trailer, or I'll send him the post of the new trailer, and he's like, stop it, stop doing this. And
Hang
I'm
up on
trying
him
to get
immediately.
convince him to watch it with me so that we can talk about it, but he won't watch it. So I don't know.
we
I
we
guess
we got a guy just like that. Like
I'll go online.
it's three of us. So two of us are just okay, watch one trailer only. And so we try to talk to the other guy and we're just like, you gotta watch. He's just like, nope, I'm not watching no trailers. I don't want to know anything about the movie. It's like, yeah, but guess what just popped up in the trailers? It's like,
Yeah, that's
nope.
what I mean.
Yeah,
So
so
it's just like,
it's one of those fun debates that we like to have.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Let me ask you guys too, another debate that we heavily talk about. Uh, are you guys week to week? If you guys watch a TV show, are you guys week to week and like to speculate what happens, or you guys rather binge a TV show?
okay, yeah, we're gonna be on different spectrums for this one. I have to watch it as it comes out because I can't wait. I cannot, if I just like the X-Men series that's gonna come out, it's gonna come out like weekly, I think. Um, and yeah, I'll have to watch every single one as it comes out. There's no way I'm going to be able to wait and stay off the internet long enough to be able to get to the end of the series. I want to be in there. I want to be in the conversation. I want to be, watching that episode and wondering, oh my gosh, what's next. Yeah, it sucks that you have to wait a whole week, but yeah, like I said, we grew up in the 80s, 90s. We're used to that sort of thing. Like we didn't have the opportunity to pause everything. We had to rush home right after school and get in front of the TV and watch the Rescue Rangers
Gotta
or
make sure
whatever it was
the
before.
TV guy, gotta watch the TV
Yeah,
guy to see what time come on, and hopefully you don't
Oh my
miss it.
God.
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, we so yeah, that's just sort of
Okay.
I enjoy it. I got to be part of the as it comes out and watch it first.
Yeah.
Pace, what
I should
about you?
know on my social media if my algorithm is keyed into the genre. Like for example, the X-Men 97. Like I'm gonna have to watch that one week to week because I know things are gonna be spoiled for me online.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I do like to let it sit for a while, and because I enjoy
Oh,
a
that
series
stresses
a
me
lot
out.
more when I binge. If I can
Hmm.
binge a series, I get into it more, and I enjoy the experience a lot more. It sucks the next morning because I usually find, oh crap, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I should finally get to bed, turn off Netflix or whatever. Um, but yeah, I did the same thing with the new Daredevil series. I did manage to um, put that off until like the all 8 episodes were out
Yeah.
season, and I managed to watch that within like 2 nights. I think I did four one night and four the next night. Um, and
Oof.
Yeah,
yeah, and I
Yeah,
enjoyed it a
that's
lot more. I
tough.
got into it more, right? Yeah.
I
See, I'm similar to you, Pace. It's like I have to watch it week to week. I like to theorize what's going to happen, especially if it's something like I don't know. It'd be like a random Netflix show and it's week to week, or something else similar to that. It's like I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to kind of theorize what happens. Daredevil's one of them. Like we would talk about it. We would send a text chain like, "Oh, like, what do you think Matt's going to get out of this? Like, what do you think is going to happen?" So it's like I like to talk like that with shows like that. But then there's other things like Game of Thrones. I watched Game of Thrones in 22 or 23, and obviously like I had to binge watch all of that. But it's like I also enjoyed that big experience. I had a choice though. I would definitely go week to week just because I like to talk to people and figure out
yes.
what's going to happen.
No, I absolutely I agree with that. I think one of the best things about those types of shows is that it gives you that pause, that breath, that time to sort of analyze it and then have the opportunity to talk with people about it too, because you're excited about
Hmm.
the show. You want to be able to share it with people, and I think that's the whole intention. They have these things done. It's already prepared. They could drop it if they wanted to, but I'm pretty sure it does more for their ratings and hype for their show if they drop it 1 or 2 episodes at a time, make people wait, let people talk about it, let the hype grow, let people share their excitement about it, and then the next episode comes out, and you can keep doing that all over and over again. But when the Disney Plus was initially starting to pump out some shows, I remember having I mean, I was never really into the characters. What's the android? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Vision.
Vision, come on,
Vision,
Vision.
thank you. Yeah, Vision and Wanda. I mean, not my two top picks for Avengers, but that
Yeah.
show was amazing, and I didn't really expect it, but there was so much to discuss and like what's going on. Like, is this, it was such a weird show too, but by design. And it just gave us so much material to talk about and discuss. I remember having some conversations with
Same
Pixie
with
about it as
Loki.
well.
Same with
Yeah.
Loki. It's
Oh,
like
definitely Loki. Yes,
you didn't know
love
what was going to
Loki.
happen.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, absolutely. My God. Oh, and yeah, well, what a great character too, and what a great setting that you put Loki in. Loki and dealing with variants of other Lokis. That's that was amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, did I enjoy the way it ended? Oh, that's a whole other thing we can talk about. But it
Yeah.
was a journey. It was definitely a fun one. But
I
yeah,
think
Yeah.
with Spider-Man Noir, actually, that came out all like all 8 episodes. I think came out
See, I
blocks.
haven't. Have you guys watched it yet?
I
Yeah,
have.
I binged that. Yeah.
How? Okay. What do you guys think? I haven't watched it yet. I'm not the biggest Nicolas Cage fan, and
Yeah,
we
no.
didn't say we was going to review it, so I was like, and I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. I was like, I might wait a little bit, but we'll see. What do you guys think about it?
Okay, well, it's not. I don't think it's a direct Marvel content. Like they took the character and it's based on Marvel characters, but they did their own thing with it, and I'm glad they did because I everyone's heard of the Spider-Man story. Everyone's heard of Peter Parker and the great power comes great responsibility. I love what they did with that by sort of peeling away from it. Now I've got my, well, it's obviously not a new conspiracy theory, but obviously, it's a situation where you've got this Spider-Man-esque character and he's dealing with some you know usual suspects, but goes about it in a completely different way than Peter Parker ever would, right?
Hmm.
So to me it was a refreshing version of the story, and aside from the superpowers being somewhat similar, it felt kind of like a new character to me, especially since the setting was so different. Right. But then for me, I do quite enjoy the 20s gangsters type
Yeah.
noir setting,
Yeah.
the investigative aspect to it as well. So there was a lot of elements that I enjoyed about that story that they were telling, and I thought it was a great story. The Nicolas Cage aspect, you you know, I, you could take it or leave it, but I don't think it detracted from it overall. I thought he was still a compelling character. I thought it was still a compelling story. And I was still rooting for that character all the way through. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I do give it a big thumbs up for storytelling.
100%, I agree. I love the refreshing take on the setting, on the background, and the origin story. It was really nicely done, and how they kind of made the character a little bit over the hill, a little bit out of
Hmm.
shape. I think was nice that played well to the Nicolas Cage as he's an older gentleman now, and his bombastic way of talking and his speech patterns, everything like that, like the those 20s kind of 30 era way of talking that it lent to his strengths, right? So some parts were a little cringy, but it's kind of cringy by design. So I did enjoy this one as a nice, refreshing take on the Spider-Man character. It was really cool.
Did they reference any of the events from Into the Spider-Verse or anything?
No,
No,
well,
no,
the first line, I think the opening line says, somebody once asked me if I knew something about a multiverse. I said, well, this is the only one I know, right? It was so they kind of
Oh, okay.
crack into it a little bit, but right off the hop, they're saying, nope, this is our own thing. And they were it's very clear that Nicolas Cage character in this series is different than the Nicolas Cage character that he played into the Spider-Verse with
Okay.
Miles Morales. They want to separate those two things because this is not a specifically a Marvel product. It's their own thing based on the Marvel character, and I'm glad they did that because it was a bit of a takeaway, a splitting from that whole Spider-Verse. Yes, there's people in here with powers, but it's sort of their own thing. And yeah, I just thought I really enjoyed it, but I think the real question we need to ask each other here is, do you watch it in black and white or do you watch it in the Technicolor version?
I would probably do black and white. I think that would probably be better, kind of similar to when Logan came out. I remember buying the Logan Blu-ray and they did the black and white version. I ended up enjoying the black and white version more than the color
Really?
version. Then, yeah. So I would
Really?
probably do black and white. Also,
Oh,
I'm a big Godzilla fan, and especially like the older Godzilla movies. And so
nice.
like the black and white for me doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. I was in that camp on the initially I thought to myself, no, it's supposed to be a noir. It's supposed to be black and white. I'm going to watch it black and white. And so I watched the very first episode and I'm just so programmed to being able to I don't know, see details in
Hmm.
color. Like I've never watched black and white TV. I though I get the idea of it. But then I started watching the episodes in color. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm picking up on so many more details.
Yeah,
Just it was more visually entertaining to me. And she's like, yeah, I get what you're trying to do here. I'm thankful for it, but my choice is I got to watch it in the full color and get the full spectrum and
I'm
pick up on all the
actually
details.
I'm actually playing a black and white game right now too. So do you guys remember when Disney they didn't give up the rights, but they let the rights go for Steamboat Willie?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so there was a video game that came out, Mouse PI for Hire, and that one is completely like set in the
Oh,
1920s, black and white. And so I've been playing
that.
that game.
Oh
So I've
man.
been having
Okay.
a fun time with that.
I am there. I gotta look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, so do you guys play, I think you mentioned already, do you guys play video games at all too?
It's
okay,
hard to
well,
find the time now. Yeah,
yes.
I am finding myself playing Roblox a lot more only because I'm playing with my son.
Yeah.
And he's finding all these silly little addictive adventure games or just cute little games that he wants to play with me. And then like he'll go to bed and I
Yeah.
find myself I'm still playing it. And like, what the heck am I doing? I have too many other things I need to be doing right now. So I am trying to, yeah, curtail my video game playing right now because I got a bunch of other stuff on the go.
Yeah.
But I think the last game I really got into was actually it was the Dungeons and Dragons Boulder Gate 3.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I remember that one. That was a huge game too.
that was yeah, that was I
Yeah.
bought a computer that I wanted to do editing on and all that other fun stuff, and that's how I convinced my wife to allow me to buy this thing, this awesome rig. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna do like all a bunch of animating and it's gonna be awesome, da da da. And the first like 6 months, I'm just playing Baldur's Gate 3. That's it.
No,
Like,
I did this. I'm not even joking. I did the same thing. I have the option to work from home, and so I told myself, yeah, I need to build a new computer. You know, it's all for work. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm playing games and
yeah.
editing and audio on here. So it's like, yeah, I understand that for sure. Copy.
Yeah.
What about you?
As much as I love playing video games, we played it a ton when we were younger, and it's just the older you get, the more obligations you have, the less time you have.
Yep.
It gets harder. So yeah, like Pace said, we've got kids, so we'll play video games with our kids, but that's sort of the extent of it. So we don't have. What do we have? We have the Switch 2 and the Switch, the original Switch, and then whole bunch of Nintendo. We've been Nintendo since this Nintendo 64. So
Yeah.
just sort of been with that brand. And yeah, so we'll play Mario Party, we'll play Mario Kart, we'll just play all the fun games together. But yeah, mostly it's just with my kids.
That is
Unfortunately,
mostly
yeah,
what I do all my gaming on. Like I can't even consider myself a gamer anymore. Like I feel like at one point in my life I was a huge gamer, but like you
yeah,
said, when work and kids and wife and just family takes over, other hobbies, I don't get to play as much as I want to or can. And so like the Switch is like I like it because I can just pick it up. I'll
yep,
play one particular game for a little bit, put it down.
yeah,
And
like
most
Smash
of the times I
Brothers,
play the
whatever.
game
Yeah,
now, it's like late at nighttime. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's my preferred choice now.
One of the Zelda games that recently came out and Breath of the Wild and all that stuff like that,
Hmm.
those were some pretty in-depth games. And my son really got into it, like really got into it. It's probably one of the first games he ever got into it. And so it was like me back with our Orcana of whatever, the
Oh,
Ocarina of
Ocarina of
Time.
Time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And it was sort of the same thing. Like that was one of the biggest video games back in the day for the 64. I know it's in other formats too, like GameCube or whatever, but for the 64, it was
Yeah.
the 64. And yeah, that was sort of our adventure into gaming, and it was just so really cool to see him getting into it and the characters that I used to play as a kid now reformatted for him and he was getting into it really cool, and I would tell him about back in my day rah, rah, rah. And so it was like, yeah, and then he tried playing. We would go online and find old emulators of the games. He's like, Dad, this sucks. How did you survive back then? It's like, yeah, no, this was amazing. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're
you
talking
can't
about.
turn it off either because we
Yeah,
don't have auto save. We can't save it, so if you turn it
exactly.
off,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
all your progress is gone.
So yeah, that in Minecraft. So
Okay.
yeah.
I guess let me finish it up. But let's head back to Magic right quick. So which commander decks should I be looking to get and looking to pick up? Right now, they're just for people who maybe don't know Magic. We
Yeah.
mentioned already the Marvel set coming out. Commander decks, we got the villains, we got the
Yep.
Avenger, or is it
The
Captain
Doom villains.
America?
Yeah, so you
Hmm.
got Avengers, you got Black Panther. I think he's going to have one. And I'll have to look at what the colors. The color identity usually tells you a lot about how the deck's going to play. Because
Hmm.
in Magic there are color identities, like blue's going to be more of a card draw and control. Green is going to be about big stompy, build up big creatures. White is going to be um, protection
Control
and
over.
removal. Black is going to be reanimation from your graveyard back onto the battlefield. That's also going to be debuffs and things like that. And what's the other color? Red is just raw attack and power and removal.
Hmm.
Generally, I'm speaking in general concepts here. But when you're looking at the Fantastic Four set as well,
Oh,
you've
that's
got
yeah, that's the last one. Yeah.
four different commanders you can choose from. So it's sort of like pick your own commander situation. Um, it's going to be a little bit difficult to for new players to get into I think that one because it's playing with four different colors. So
I've
I
been
would
playing
probably
Arena and I just finished like the color tutorials. Like
okay.
I just looked,
Well,
so like that's how new I am. I'm just
yeah,
buying it for the cards.
but it is the commander isn't the only format to play it in. It is, however, one of the more popular
Yeah.
formats because you can play like with a group of people. It's not competitive. It's not supposed to be competitive. It's just supposed to be casual. You're supposed to sit with a group of people, and you're just supposed to play this really cool themed deck, right? That's the heart of it. People like Pace that have to really sort of go hard on it, and no, I only want to play to win, so I got to play all the best cards. Yeah, you got to know who you're playing against and
Oh,
play accordingly.
do you
But
guys max out your decks? Like try to get the highest rarity?
I did it one time. I did it one time and I labeled as a villain. Yeah.
yeah,
I s-
I think yeah, it's you build multiple decks because you're going to want some decks that really function really well, get to its theme really fast. And then some other decks you just want to play because it's a really cool thing. And it may not
Hmm.
be as powerful, but it's a cool character. Like Paste had a Scarlet Spider, a character that he really enjoys when the Spider-Man set came out. It may not be the most powerful commander, but it's a commander he really enjoys. So,
Yeah.
you can build around those themes. And that's why commander is a popular format. Magic's been around for years and years and years, decades even. So there's hundreds and hundreds, thousands of cards even to choose from, and so many different rules and interactions, and it can be very complicated even for people who've been playing, even for professionals. There are judges that have come over to the table to try to settle weird interactions, and you're going to have
Yeah.
that as well. Usually, it's going to be something you're going to get wrong, and you can laugh about it later, but whatever. Ideally, I would say for you, pick a commander of a character that you enjoy, and maybe two to three colors to start off, maybe two colors. So maybe the Wakanda Forever is probably going to be a very strong one, because
Hmm.
I think it's oh gosh, no, I'm not even going to guess, but I was looking at it. It's going to deal with some artifacts. It's going to deal with some you can really buff your characters up, and it'll just sort of be a general format of as to how to play. So that one
Okay.
will be a good one and probably a pretty easy one to get into. And if you like the Black Panther character, Wakanda, that whole setting, it will be themed around that. So you'll have that concept that you can play with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why you couldn't have the X-Men theme? I told my friend, I was like,
That
yo, give me every X-Men card. Just that's what I need.
That's
They
what
said,
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why, because money is involved in these types of things. They're and Marvel is so big and been wanting to do this collaboration with the WotC for Wizards of the Coast for so long. They have to chunk it. So we had a Spider-Man one last year. They're doing
mm-hmm.
Heroes this year, so they're basically focusing on Avengers primarily, even though there's a few, Wolverines and things like that, and some mutants, but they're mostly tied in with the Avengers. And then I think, and I don't know this, obviously, it's speculation. Go online. You can join me with my tinfoil hat, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have a mutant set for like X-Men and
Man,
those
I'm
heroes.
going to
Yeah,
take out the biggest loan I can, and I'm
yeah, I
just
know.
buy everything
Uh,
I can.
but it's
Yeah.
it's so huge they can't possibly get all these characters into one set. Even though during the Spider-Man set they printed out so many spider characters we've never even heard of, and you would wonder why. It was originally intended to be a much smaller set, but I don't know, whatever the reason was, they had to expand it. So then they just threw in every single spider person that had ever had an issue written about them.
Hmm.
And so yeah, they went that route. But anyways, it is going to be an ongoing saga. Yes, we are going to get Infinity Stones, and they're going to start releasing
Yeah, my friend's
those with
like,
every
if you
set.
pull one of the Infinity Stones or something like that, he's like, he wants first dibs at it. I was like, look, man, if it look good, I'm gonna probably keep it. I was like, I'm a collector at heart, so I don't like to sell
Yes.
stuff, and
And
that's my
Mhm.
biggest
that,
deal.
my friend, is going to be one of the biggest things you can really get into the set. Not only can you play with these really cool rectangles, but you can also collect them as well. And they're going to have really cool sets where you can like put all six together and it'll do a
I
big
saw that.
diorama set. Yeah,
I
or
saw
or
that.
even more so, right? Like the Fantastic Four will have a sort of a four thing combo. Yeah, it's really exciting, especially for us Marvel nerds that really enjoy Magic the Gathering, because it is a really good card game on its own, and now we get to use our superhero characters in it. Now they have done Marvel collectible card games in the past that have sucked, and they've been,
Was it?
they
I think it was ones like verse. Was it versus or
yeah,
system versus or something like that? Like I have those cards again. I bought them for
yeah,
the art, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never knew how to play it.
yeah,
But
same.
this is yeah, this is when it comes into like an established game like Magic the Gathering, and you've got these cool creators, and they do put love into it. They will take the Thing, they will take the Hulk, they will take Thor, they will take all these characters, and they will write the card to match that character. They will give it the flavor that it deserves and needs, and the card art is amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a collaboration of love, even though some people outside of the game will say, no, Magic, it's its own thing, and you shouldn't bring in these other IPs, and you shouldn't have had what was the big one that was a big stir.
Lord of
It
the
was,
Rings.
Lord of the Rings is kind of fine because it's in that sort of fantasy
Was it
genre.
the Final
Yeah.
Fantasy? I
Yeah.
heard a lot about the Final
Yeah.
Oh,
Fantasy
Oh,
Final
set.
Final Fantasy
Fantasy.
was also amazing. It was done very, very well. It could also lend to the fact that it was also sort of fantasy based too. But yeah, Final Fantasy was huge, 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 huge. And they did a good job on the set too. So it's a situation where people are like, no, it should be its own thing. Magic should be its own thing. Don't put these things together. But the people behind the scenes are really, really trying very, very hard to meld them together, because they are also fans of the product. They're also fans of the game. They're also fans of the IP, and they're going to do their best to
And
merge them
and they
together.
know how to make money. They want to make money.
And the happy result is,
Yeah.
yes, it's going to be a huge, huge, huge truckload of money
They've
for
hit
for
they've hit their mark on me with this one, man. Not only are they combining like awesome Marvel characters again, they're making a collectible, they're making the collage sets. They're just yeah,
yeah.
they're oh, my money
Now the
is
other thing they're doing
gone.
is called Jumpstart too. So you can get these little mini packs. And
Hmm.
you just it'll be a blue, it'll be a green, they're like 20 cards each. You smash them together and you shuffle them up. You just take those little packs, and then you instantly have like this little 40 card deck that you can play. They've done this with other sets before, but it's supposed to be an introduction way of getting people into play the game that haven't played it before. So you just buy all these jump starts. It could be random packs that you'll get. You'll grab a blue and you can grab a white, and you can shuffle them together, and there's your little mini deck. You can play it against somebody else, and it's just a fun way to start playing the game, and you can have all these cool Marvel characters in it
Yeah,
too.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Like I bought the collector one because one, I'm just gonna put these guys in a binder. But like I wonder if I should buy like a separate deck just to play with people who actually not play. But yeah,
Yeah,
The
we'll
yeah,
slippery
see.
slope, man. The slippery slope.
I
Try it
know. There's
once.
like
I'm like, oh
once you
damn.
have so many hobbies, I'm just like it's. If I tell my wife I'm getting into a new hobby, she's
yeah.
probably going to kill me. Yeah,
Well, that's
this
your
3D
first
print is
thing,
my this 3D
to
print
be
is my
honest.
newest hobby. Yeah, but like
That
that's
is
my newest
Yeah,
hobby.
okay,
that
fair.
looks.
Yeah. I tell people though, every year I find a new hobby. I think I started in 23, I want to say. I try to find a new hobby every year. One year I got into collecting colognes. So I was like went hard on just learning different scents and how to layer things. I got
Oh
into
wow.
bartending because I enjoy the mixology of actually bartending. Tried to get into Legos. Marvel had the X-Men set that came out. I was like, oh, this is my chance to
I,
get into
I was
Legos.
I was noticing that. I'm like, can we borrow that? We kind of want to do a little fun video, multiverse video with that. Yeah,
I was like,
that'd be.
this is my chance to get into Legos, and then they didn't come out with a lot more Marvel stuff that I really wanted. So then, yeah, this year is 3D printing. So Yeah,
Mhm.
I
That
enjoy
is that
finding
is going to be the
hobbies.
gift that keeps on giving, though. Like you can just make
Yes.
your own hobbies with that too. It
And I
helps
could
supplement
convince my
your.
wife it was a good purchase
Oh
because I
yeah,
can make her
there's
stuff. So that's
my
the
Yeah.
nice
wife is
thing.
finding stuff for me to print now. She's like, "Oh, look at this! It's so handy. You can use this to hang things up here, making like little drawers and sets like this, and whatever, whatever, whatever." And they're fun for making little gifts for like Mother's Day or
Hmm.
for your kids as well too. So yeah, 3D printers are great for the whole family. Everyone should get one.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But I want to say thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I enjoyed my time sitting down and talking with you guys.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you very much for having us on. It's been incredible um, getting to know you. As I said, we were just getting into this game. Marvel Multiverse is fairly new as far as these things go. We're happy that there are content creators such as yourself that's helping to push and demonstrate and get the good word of mouth out there about this game, and because it is a really fun game. So we're hoping that people will really catch on to us and have a
Yes,
good time like we are.
I hope it's
yeah,
around for a long time.
yeah. I appreciate it, Jordan. Yeah, thanks so much for reaching out and giving us the opportunity to talk to you and the listeners. And yeah, I hope we got some usable stuff here.
Yeah, it was really good. So I guess once again, tell everyone where they can find out who you are and find your videos.
Great. Yeah. Well, we are primarily on YouTube. It's Action Dice TTG. I got that wrong. Action Dice TTG. Just look up Action Dice and Marvel Multiverse, and you'll find us there. It's a great way to watch some of our content. Help us out. Subscribe if you can. Tell your friends, your enemies too. We're not picky. And just give us some comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see next. We'll be happy to work
We're
towards
also
that.
on the socials as well too. We have Facebook. We're on TikTok. We have an Instagram and Blue Sky. I think are some of the ways if you want to reach
Oh,
out.
dude, Fuzzy told me about Blue Sky, and I literally keep forgetting to look into it. We're terrible. I would say we're really bad at doing social media, and I don't know. None of us have time to be running social media, and so like we have an
Yep.
Instagram, but we're not always freaking running the
Same.
thing. Yeah, we're really bad with
Same
social
here.
media.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you try to plug yourself and get onto all these things, but at the end of the day, we're just two people, and until I can really perfect this cloning technology, it's just going to be us two. So, so there's only so much we can do.
I understand, but yeah, with that, that's it, and hopefully all the listeners enjoy it, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everyone.